weekend.
Federal agencies dramatically ramped up immigration operations this weekend with nearly 1,000 arrests nationwide Sunday, more than 3 times the Biden-era averages.
That's CBS News correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Many Gazans are headed back to what's left of their homes and neighborhoods in the north after a year and a half of war. Correspondent Matt Piper has that.
There are scenes of massive crowds returning on foot, including this woman through an interpreter.
The journey was difficult, but we were filled with happiness. We are overjoyed to return to the north.
The fragile ceasefire has entered its second week. The return of Palestinians, a dramatic reversal of the mass exodus that many had feared Israel would make permanent. Residents in the greater Hartford region reported feeling a bit of shaking today. That was all because of an earthquake centered off the coast of York Harbor, Maine. Magnitude 3.8. Reports from Hartford, New Britain, Glastonbury among the cities and towns that
Michael B., welcome home, sir.
All of Rhode Island, most of Massachusetts, and New Hampshire shown to have felt the quake as well. No injuries or significant damage reported. And the State Labor Department is out with its monthly report on jobs.
Connecticut's unemployment rate remained at a very low 3.0% for the third consecutive month.
Patrick Flaherty is the department's director of research.
Connecticut jobs are now up by 20,100 from an unusually low December 1 year ago.
Says the November gains were revised significantly to 1,800 from the previously reported 300. Flaherty says retail trade was up 1,600 positions in November, but manufacturing was off slightly. The unemployment rate in Connecticut remained at 3% for last month. WTIC News Time is 3:04. And checking traffic on this Monday afternoon. We've still got some road work left over in the Hartford area on the westbound side of 84 between exits 41 and 39. Crews will be out there till about 3:30. Also over in Waterbury in the westbound direction on 84 between 23 and 20. That's left lane work as well. Down in Meriden, we've got north and southbound work on 91 in Meriden between 16 and 21. That's in the left lane. Southbound out of Cromwell between 21 and 15. That's left lane work. And in Hartford on 91 southbound between 32 and 28. They've been working in the right lane there. That should be out of there, though, if it isn't already. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast and meteorologist Jason Caterina.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, it's going to be
I saw it. I haven't read it yet.
Breezy and chilly with the high of 39. Some clouds tonight, windy and cold with the low down to 29. Now Tuesday, a snow shower early in the morning. Otherwise, lots of clouds, a windy and cold day, the high 33. Now with the winds, any heavier snow shower could quickly make some of the roads slick and reduce visibility. Then Tuesday night, increasing clouds, snow and flurries at times, little or no accumulation overnight, the low down to 18. Then on Wednesday, we'll get snow and flurries at times with a coating to an inch, so watch for some slick spots. Otherwise, the high of 42. Thursday, sunny, windy, and colder. The high only 27. Will feel like the teens with the strong west-northwest winds. Friday, cloudy, not as cold. Periods of rain in the afternoon. The high up to 41. Then sunny and colder Saturday.
Happy Monday,
the high
Jason.
of 31. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, on Wall Street, it's been kind of a roller coaster this afternoon. The NASDAQ is down over 3.5%. The Dow's up 193. S&P is down over 110 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, basketball fans. It's Liam McNeely, your new freshman recruit. On the court, I know the importance of teamwork. It's not just about one player. It's about the whole team working together to achieve victory. That's why I trust the law firm of Brown, Pandeiros, and Scott. With them, you're not just getting one lawyer. You're getting a law firm with a team of experienced professionals dedicated to your success. They collaborate, strategize, and fight for you every step of the way. Choose the firm that knows the value of teamwork. Visit bpslawyers.com. They're here to win for you.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
It's a new year. It's time for a new start. And that starts at Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford. New lower prices, new lower leases, and 0% financing available. That's right. Start your 2025 with a new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet, where you can save hundreds, even thousands over other area Subaru dealers. Brand new Outbacks, only $27,995, or lease for just $249 a month. Crosstreks, $24,495, or lease for a low $259 a month, or get 0% financing, and that will save you a lot, maybe thousands in interest charges. Get a brand new Impreza for $189 a month, or buy one for $22,495. Buy a new Forester for $28,795, or lease one for $279 a month, or take the 0% financing. Start your new year with great savings and buy your new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91, or online at ProterraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
It's Alice Shattuck, and
1 minute.
is
Thank you,
making
sir.
America healthy again, the right way. No big pharma injections necessary. Awaken 180 has been on the ground floor of challenging the conventional wisdom about food and what we put into our bodies that's making us as a country overweight and unhappy. That government food pyramid that you learned as a kid that told you to eat pasta instead of steak, yeah, they don't use that here. The coaches customize the program to your individual needs and help you every step of the way without needing to count calories, spend hours in the gym, or skip meals. At Awaken 180, we eat all the time. Meat, vegetables, at home, at restaurants, even out for a cocktail with friends. I lost 30 pounds on Awaken 180, and I know you'll see success too, whether you visit their West Hartford location or use their at-home program. So get started by booking your personal consultation today. Call 844-346-1800 or visit Awaken180weightloss. 2025, your year. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Alice looks great and she feels great. While we're making America great, let's make you great at Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, and a hearty Monday to every one of you nutmeggers and scallywags across the fruited plain. It is a pleasure to be here. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. All of you get a round of applause. Because you are here for the program. We've got an exciting Monday for you. We've got a guest on the show today. I usually do Mondays with McGreevy. He hasn't called me in a couple of weeks. So McGreevy, if you're out there, Robert McGreevy, give me a holler if you got something going on, because I want to have you on the show again. It's been a while since we've had the Daily Caller on the program. But today I have a guest today. I was desperate for this man to come on the show, so I spoke to Joey. Joey got in touch with him. Joey got us his telephone number, and we're going to have him on. So I want to say thank you to none other than Dan Haar, who's going to be on the show today at 4:05. We'll talk about his latest article that he wrote for the Connecticut Insider. He's the senior editor of the Connecticut Insider, or CT Insider, whatever it is you call it out here. Anyway, but he'll be on the program today talking about his article, or I'll be talking to him about his article, talking about how we get through the era of Trump. And if you haven't read it, go look at it so you can at least be up to par on what we'll be talking about if you haven't read it yet. And it's going to be a great, very, I want to say, how do I put it? Exciting interview. Because Dan is admittedly on the left. I, of course, on the right. And I think that these conversations should be happening between both sides. So at least we get to understand each other. And I think you have asked yourself over and over again, why do people write the stuff that they do on the left? Well, Dan will be here to discuss that with me. And I hope that I do you justice by asking him some of the questions based on his article, right? So we'll get to that. Also, I want to say that later on today, I want to have a small conversation, not a big one, a small conversation, maybe sometime in the 4 o'clock hour about Barack Obama. And if you listen to my Sunday show, I talked about this for a couple of minutes, but there's a rumor going around that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama may very well be on the outs. And I don't know. He and Michelle have been seen together. On their anniversary just recently, they did a very heartwarming picture at some restaurant or whatever it was. And Michelle seemed to be smiling in the photo. And they were happy. But there was a rumor going around that Barack may be leaving Michelle for none other than Jennifer Aniston. And I found that odd because,
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more.
Okay, where did that come from? I don't even know. I don't know anything about that. Where did that come from? I'm sorry. That was a glitch in the Matrix. I apologize. I don't know anything about that. I apologize. I really do. Where in the world did that come from? That was weird.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more.
Oh, I pushed the wrong button. I seem to have pushed the button. My apologies. Unrelated to that. I want to talk a little bit about that. If you listen to my Sunday show, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we'll get to that. And of course, your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, if you wish to opine about that issue. And I'll talk a little bit about the football game with the ref nonsense. Everybody's getting involved in this. Look, allow me to reason with some of you folks about this football thing and the cheating and the alleged cheating and the refs and the Kansas City Chiefs, okay, and the Buffalo Bills. I feel bad for the Bills. But some people, you're going to have to walk this back. I know you don't. Yeah, I'm going to say some of you have to walk this back a little bit, okay? Cool your jets with the whole screaming and hollering about it's rigged and Taylor Swift. Please. And it's actually ginned up this way, and I blame NFL announcers for this. I blame the NFL and the broadcasters for a lot of this mayhem that's going on there. We'll get into that. But I think we need to talk about something that's happening right here, and someone has got to explain it to me. Hey, yo, what's up with East Hartford? What is up with East Hartford? Why in the world, after everything that has been said about deportations, about harboring illegals, why would East Hartford do something that I can only describe as, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-indicting. Listen to, on their Facebook page, the official Facebook page of the East Hartford government, it reads, East Hartford community. This, by the way, this was at 6 o'clock yesterday. East Hartford community. Earlier today, ICE agents were observed entering a home in East Hartford. We understand there has been a lot of concern, questions, and alerts circulating in our community recently. It's more important than ever to stay informed. Know your rights. If ICE approaches you or your home, you have the right to remain silent and refuse to sign anything without speaking to a lawyer. ICE cannot enter your home without a valid warrant signed by a judge. Always ask to see it. Everyone, regardless of their status, has rights under the Constitution. Stay safe, stay informed. Now, why? Someone explain to me why East Hartford would put that out there for, let's just say, illegals in our country or in East Hartford. Does East Hartford know something that we should all know? And East Hartford is not making this distinction between illegals with violent histories or who are committing violence in the East Hartford community. They're saying that every one of those individuals are just innocent folks who came into the country illegally and are good, law-abiding citizens, aiding and abetting them to thwart the efforts of the federal government. Isn't this a crime, East Hartford? Isn't this, in some ways, I guess in my view, I would almost deem this as negligence, criminal negligence on the part of the government. Why would you? And the worst part is, folks, it is listed on their Facebook page in what can be, I guess, because I don't understand some of the languages, I am almost certain it is 5 or 6 different languages. Now, why do I bring that up? Because it took a while for the story to break. It had to be sent everywhere. And I want to thank all of you in Connecticut and people who listen to this show. All of you who spread the word to everybody. You contacted, you were on X and you were tagging WTNH, WFSB. You were tagging everybody and telling them all, hey, are you aware of this? And then this happened. This is the part that makes me laugh. Try this out. Hartford Courant put this article out 4 hours ago, I might add. Immigration officials were at a home in East Hartford over the weekend amid mass deportation plan being carried out around the nation. Authorities with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement were seen entering a home on Sunday, according to a Facebook post from the town of East Hartford. Officer Mark Caruso of the East Hartford Police Department said ICE officials notified police they would be in town, though they did not request any assistance. Caruso said he was not aware of anyone who was taken into custody and deferred further comment to ICE. Quote, I've seen and felt the fear and panic throughout the community. This according to Mayor Connor Martin, which he said in an email correspondence. East Hartford is the second most diverse town in Connecticut, and my goal is to support our community members. Do you know what Mayor Martin is saying? By saying we're the second most diverse? We have the second most illegals in this town. That's all he's saying. The second most diverse? You mean you have the second most illegals? We know, we get it. A core responsibility of my position is to ensure our residents are informed, Martin said. We are responsive government. We are responsive to our community. It's our obligation to ensure all residents of the town of East Hartford know the information so they can be empowered to make their own decisions. That's also interesting. But wait, other parts of the article go further. They single out, try this on for size, they single out brown people. Now, if they were only concerned about the brown people or the Hispanic community, because that's the way in which they speak, why wasn't the alert just in Spanish? Or variations of Spanish? Why was some of it in Mandarin? Why was some of it in Korean? Why was it in other languages outside of it? Because, it posts on its Facebook page 6 different languages at least. And then when the news media asked them about it, they immediately wanted to make this about brown people. So in essence, East Hartford is saying, hey, brown people in our community, here's how you get away from ICE in the event that they come to your home and they start knocking on your door. We'll assist you. We won't come to your aid, but we'll assist you in giving you an alert. This is like in the drug game when they have the spotter who's standing on the corner, and when the DTs, detectives, when they come around the corner, you got the one guy, hooty-hoo! For those of you who know the hood, and I know a lot of you do, they know who the spotter is. He's the one who gives the little hooty-hoo to let everybody know that the cops are coming. It's a little sign. Don't ask how I know that. But there's a lot of people who know that's exactly what this is. This is the spotter. This is what East Hartford's doing. And again, with no concern with the people in East Hartford who may be affected by what's going on with illegals. Now, we know, and I don't ever doubt this. I know I'm not ahead of my skis on this one. I'll put any amount of money that the mayor of East Hartford has no idea who's in his town. Doesn't have a clue. Couldn't tell you who's here for what, why they are here, where they came from. Couldn't tell you anything about their criminal or non-criminal background. You know damn well they don't know. But they've completely assumed that every one of them are just good people who broke the law coming into our country and just came here to work. They're not involved in any trafficking. They're not even victims of it, be it sexual or labor. Because no one even bothers to ask, hey, Mayor Martin, how many illegals do you have in the town of East Hartford? How many are you technically representing? You say that they paid their taxes. What gives? What's the number on those taxes? How much do they contribute? Do you have a number on that? If they live in darkness, they don't have Social Security cards, how are they working? Are they being paid on the books? Who are the businesses who hire them? Are they following the letter of the law? Are you aiding and abetting companies that are hiring illegals for slave wages? What exactly is going on in East Hartford? And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not just singling out East Hartford for the sake of singling them out. They are the ones who put the post up there. But who's next? By the way, somebody tell me if the post is down yet. Since it's gotten all the attention. Please, somebody tell me if they put it down, if they took it down. I'm sure that, because I called them and inquired about it today. Nobody wanted to take a phone call, cowards. Nobody wanted to take a phone call. Can you send us an email, please? Can you direct your email for an inquiry to get an answer? Yeah. What, you don't have it? Can we talk to who posted this? You put it on your Facebook page. Can we get someone on the phone who posted this? I'd like to talk to them, and I'd like to get an understanding of why they posted it. Could you just email us? We'll get you. I don't have a number. I don't know who the person is. Oh, you don't? Okay. Cowards. Richard A. says, is it still up? Okay, I think it is. It is. Okay. Good. I want them to keep it up. I wanted to get national attention. The reason why I wanted to get national attention is because of, like I said, what Stephen Miller said, the deputy chief of staff, what he said is very, very important to all of this.
So, Miller, if Mayor Bass, Mayor Johnson, if they blockade ICE from going in, if they sabotage the mass deportation efforts, they could be arrested?
The law is clear that harboring an illegal alien, smuggling an illegal alien, obstructing law enforcement, obstructing an official proceeding, and a conspiracy to violate the rights of Americans, all of these and many more are criminal statutes. And so if there's incidences that occur where a public official or an elected individual engages in violations of those criminal statutes, then I fully expect the Department of Justice will follow the letter of the law. Because, as I'm sure you know, Jesse, no one is above the law, not illegal aliens, and not anyone who may choose to illegally harbor those aliens.
And it's safe to say that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Because remember, what they're aiding and abetting, it's telling these people how to avoid the cops. It's instructing them on what they need to do to evade them. That's what this is all about. No one's coming to their aid. Where are all the lawyers? What are they protecting them from? Does anybody know whether or not there's some sort of nefarious activity going on? We know that it's happening. We know that there are people in the country, and right here in Connecticut, we know because we have documented evidence of that there are people who are being labor trafficked in the state. They don't know how many. No one's bothered to ask because they don't care. Because they would rather stand on their soapbox protecting people who are committing these types of crimes, who may be indeed mules for drug dealers or cartels doing criminal gang activity. They don't care about anybody. They're protecting all of them. Sure, they talk a good game. Oh, if they're criminal aliens, they need to go. Well, then, if they're so good, you should be handing those people over. You know where they are, don't you? Or maybe that's the rub. Maybe the truth is they don't know who anyone is. And they don't know who any of these people, what they're capable of, or what they've done, or what they're doing. And maybe in that, they're putting citizens, legal citizens, in Connecticut at risk. How is that not a dereliction of duty? How is that not violating the constitutional rights of nutmeggers in the state? How is it not? I find it baffling. But I'm taking your phone calls early on this one. When we come back, tell me what you think of all of this and whether or not Hartford should be somebody, at least the mayor or maybe someone else, should actually be locked up for this. We'll return. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your tax. You can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
And now, a WTIC news update.
39 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva. State police are investigating after they say a man was killed Monday in a crash on Interstate 84 in West Hartford. Around 1:30 this morning, BMW driven by 30-year-old Tamik Skinner of New York was hit from behind by a tractor trailer along eastbound 84 near exit 44. Skinner was traveling in the right lane at the time, say police. A report indicates the vehicles became stuck together in the right shoulder. Skinner was taken to Hartford Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Driver of the rig was not injured. Police in Hartford investigating the city's second homicide of the year. Officers investigating a shot spotter activation when they say 20-year-old Johnny Rodriguez was found shot in the area of Essex Street and Retreat Avenue. He was later pronounced dead at Hartford Hospital. One person is dead following a apparent domestic disturbance on Prospect Street around 3:30 this morning in New Britain. Female pronounced dead at the scene. Second female with gunshot wound taken to an area hospital, now in critical condition. Some shaking felt in parts of Connecticut today. That was due to a magnitude 3.8 earthquake centered off York Harbor, Maine. No reports of any serious damage. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have streamed into Gaza's most heavily destroyed area after Israel lifted its closure of the north for the first time since the early weeks of the war that began with Hamas in October of 2023. Wall Street, tech stocks tumbling today after threats from China to upend AI and the artificial intelligence frenzy they've been feasting on. S&P fallen over 3% today. WTIC News Time, 3:32. Here's the forecast.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and chilly, the high 39. Some clouds tonight, windy, not as cold as it's been in recent nights, the low down to 29. A snow shower early Tuesday, otherwise lots of clouds, windy. Any heavier snow shower could quickly make some roads slick and reduce visibility, the high 33. Some snow and flurries at times Tuesday night, little or no accumulation. Wednesday, those snow and flurries continue with a coating to an inch, the high 42. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And again on Wall Street, the NASDAQ down nearly 3.5%, 679 in the red, and the Dow's up 179 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's a new year. It's time for a new start. And that starts at Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford. New lower prices, new lower leases, and 0% financing available. That's right. Start your 2025 with a new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet, where you can save hundreds, even thousands over other area Subaru dealers. Brand new Outbacks, only $27,995, or lease for just $249 a month. Crosstreks, $24,495, or lease for a low $259 a month, or get 0% financing, and that will save you a lot, maybe thousands in interest charges. Get a brand new Impreza for $189 a month, or buy one for $22,495. Buy a new Forester for $28,795, or lease one for $279 a month, or take the 0% financing. Start your new year with great savings and buy your new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91, or online at ProterraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Hers weight loss is not available at
Woman.
are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access
For some odd reason,
or
out of
afford
nowhere,
them.
I got an echo.
Hers is changing that. At forhers.com.
Oh, on your end?
No, on your end.
Doctor-trusted weight loss
Oh, when I'm talking?
No, when I'm
like
talking.
GLP-1 weekly
Oh, I don't have no echo on.
ingredient as Ozempic
It's
and
reverbing
Wegovy
back
or
to
oral
me.
medications
I know
at
I
a
didn't change
fraction of the
anything here.
price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through hers. The same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees. Just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. forhers.com/radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio. And we'll get to your phone calls in a quick second, so stand by. I just want to go through some things that are in the chat room, as well as something I saw online, and I think that sort of echoes Salvatore's text message or chat room message. Salvatore says, pertaining to what you said about the Dems are protecting the criminal illegals in East Hartford, it's actually treason. It says in the Constitution that anyone who harbors, aids, or abets criminal illegal aliens shall be charged. And I'm hoping, Salvatore, you're talking about this, and correct me if I'm not. This is harboring, which is statute 1324A1A, concealing, harboring, or sheltering undocumented aliens from detection or attempting to do so is prohibited. Encouraging, inducing, 1324A1A, again, it's, this is 4, because the other one's 3, this one's 4. Inducing or encouraging an alien to enter, come, or reside in the U.S. in violation of the law is also an offense. Conspiracy, aiding, or abetting, 1324A1A5. Engaging in conspiracy or aiding and abetting in the commission of any of the above actions is punishable under law. Here are the penalties. The penalties of these offenses vary based upon the severity of specifics of the violation. For general violations, penalties include fines or imprisonment up to 5 years. Now, I know I read that earlier. I think that is the same thing you're talking about. Rama in Boston, and he and I both remember this in 2019, was a state court judge who was charged with helping a defendant evade ICE by letting him leave through a courthouse rear door. I know you guys remember this story, or at least those who covered this, because it was not covered on mainstream media, although it should have. A state judge aiding and abetting an illegal who, again, was in her courtroom for a crime he committed, but because of her own advocacy, allowed him to leave through a back door. It was found out, and she was charged. So, again, all of these things are evident that what East Hartford is doing is a crime. And I get it that, it's because of Trump. But that still doesn't assist you. To the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Joe in Simsbury. What's going on, Simsbury, Joe?
Hi there. I'm not sure that it's a crime. I wish I could say with 100% certainty it was a crime. And here's my thought process on it.
Okay.
In the state of Connecticut, as a private citizen, you are allowed to warn other drivers by flashing your high beams that there's a police speed trap nearby.
Okay.
So they view that as being the First Amendment.
Okay.
When you're a municipal employee, some but not all municipal employees, mostly people who are appointed to boards or people that are elected, are all required to take an oath.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are not required to take the oath. If you took the oath is to the Constitution of the United States and the state of Connecticut. If you are someone who is an oath taker, then I believe that if you participated in the warning to illegal immigrants that ICE is in the area, that you have in fact committed a crime.
Indeed.
If the information was put up by someone who did not take the oath, then I believe they would say they are protected by the First Amendment.
Okay, let me stop you there. Let me tell you where I have an issue with this, and I'll, of course, allow you to retort. Okay? Let's use the earlier comparison that I made to the drug dealer and the guy, hooty-hoo, alerting the drug dealer, right? So that kid who's alerting the drug dealers to the cops is aiding and abetting to a crime, right? Because what is he alerting those people to do, right? It's sort of like being a lookout, right? A bank robber, the getaway driver. He doesn't have to commit any of the acts inside the bank. He could be just waiting outside. The moment that they get into the vehicle, they are they're both in the commission of a crime. So what I'm saying here in this regard is whether or not that person was a person who took the oath of office or that person, the illegal has already committed a crime by coming into the country illegally. You are aiding and abetting that person from being captured because of the crime that they've done. This immediately makes you a culprit. This makes you, in essence, this puts you in a commission of a crime. You are assisting in furtherance of the crime. Is that fair? And a fair assessment on your point, from your point of view?
I would say that in a courtroom, and when I say this, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just
I hear you.
Telling you what I think. I think that you would have a very hard time with a judge saying that there was a crime being committed at that moment in time.
How not?
I think they would say yes, the crime occurred when they came into the country.
Right.
But you'd have a hard time with the concept of intent in terms of saying that the crime is actually still going on, even though in our layman's terms, of course, the crime is still going on. You haven't left. You're still here.
Okay. Well, I'll push back one more on that. Okay. Because remember what the intent, you use the word intent. Remember what the intent of the official who posted it on the Facebook page of East Hartford. His intent was ICE is coming to pick up, and they've made it crystal clear. It is all over the news. The first wave of these ICE pickups are criminal aliens, those who are committing egregious crimes, sex offenders, criminal activity on the level of gang members, trafficking, whatever the case may be. That's what they've alerted the public to do. The government of East Hartford is telling people, in essence, all of you, right? So they're not parsing them out. They're not saying you people who are just doing, going to work every day, who have nothing to do with the criminal element, you guys, this is how you can avoid any event that you get wrapped up. They don't specify. They are speaking to all people who are in the country because they believe that all of them are innocent. They believe that all of them have committed no crimes or not even involved in any crime. So if the federal government has made it clear what they are coming to do or what their role is to come into town, and the government of that town is assisting all people who are, in their view, undocumented from evading ICE while they're trying to get criminal aliens out of the country, that's aiding and abetting.
Well, I think that, and first of all, I forgot to say this before.
Yes.
It's not just East Hartford that's done it. Catholic Charities has videos out where they're going into great detail telling people how to avoid ICE, et cetera.
Yeah.
I think where the federal government, because you're not seeing anyone get arrested yet, I think what the federal government will most likely turn around to do if they want to put a stop to this is they will say, hey, town of East Hartford or state of Connecticut, that federal funding? Yeah. You can kiss that goodbye.
Yep.
Because of these behaviors. I don't feel that they're going to do a perp walk of people who put stuff up on the website.
Yeah.
But if I could bring up one other thing really quick, because I wanted to bring it up the other day, I forgot. The Vermont situation that I'm pretty sure we talked about on your show, where a border agent was killed by an illegal.
Yes,
up there,
in a routine traffic stop.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a routine traffic stop. What's come out now is that there were two suspects. The one that was killed was a German national. The other one is a woman out of Washington State. They've been under surveillance since January 14th. And in the vehicle, they found ballistic helmet, night vision, ammunition, shooting range targets, cell phones, multiple laptops, We had in our own backyard the start of something that was 100% the beginning stages of a terrorist attack.
I agree.
So these people that are saying, oh, the poor illegals, realize that just over our border, a border agent was killed, and the people that were in the car were planning something. And they think that they were looking for a third person that was supposed to join them coming across the border.
Wow.
So the bleeding hearts need to start being held responsible when we start to see a terrorist attack from somebody who doesn't belong in this country.
Indeed. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I'm glad you got to finally get that out. And send that to me, by the way. Send that article to me.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Let's go to Rick. Hello, Rick. You're on Reese on the radio. What's up, sir?
Hey, Reese. I got a couple questions. First of all, I wanted to know, is there any way to find out how many of these illegal immigrants are in the state of Connecticut? And also, how much it is costing the taxpayers to fund them, to kind of support them? Would a FOI to Ned Lamont work?
I believe so.
Is there another way to go about it? I don't know if your listeners, anybody could help me out with something. Maybe Mark, you could help me
Mark.
do like a mini dive on this, And
Mark from West Hartford, you got your marching orders, my friend. I think that's a good.
Yeah.
I think that's something important because you know what? That's what you're bringing up, Rick. Is a very good and important part for the people who live in places like East Hartford, especially places like New Haven, right, and even Bridgeport, for that matter. If those towns know what their tax dollars are being spent for illegals and the efforts of which those those municipalities are going to fund those illegals, that's the sea change you're talking about. Because that's how Chicago, the African American community in Chicago, that's how they turned around.
Yes, right. And you look at what we're paying for our electric bills, our taxes. It's killing the people in Connecticut that are here legally and that work for a living. So maybe if we got some information on what it's costing us, maybe we'd withhold some of our taxes and kind of fight this any way we can,
Yeah, you're right. And again, it usually starts by information. That's how you change hearts and minds. You got to get people the information that they don't have. And that will assist them. That'll assist them in making sort of conscious or at least considerable choices in their lives that say, you know what, I can't stand for that. I feel bad for them, but you're not going to be spending my tax dollars on those things while other things lag. So it's a good point. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that, sir.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it, sir. Bye-bye. That was a damn good call. And Simsbury Joe, as everybody's already saying in the chat room. Simsbury Joe is one of my favorite, without a doubt. I also want to give a shout out to BTTBO. Oh, it's Off-Road. BTTB Off-Road. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the show. And I hope you'll come back. So we're going to talk more about this when we return. I'll take the rest of your phone calls, so stay on the line. We will get to you. Everybody in the chat room is raving about this. This is, again, going to be a national story in Connecticut. But again, as I said last week, it takes moments like these, right, when they go national, in order for the local guys to start reporting this. And now the Hartford Courant is talking about it. I think they wrote an article about it 4 hours ago, which was, again, way after the first print of the Hartford Courant came out. No one had been talking about this. It took libs of TikTok to make it a national story in order for people to start reporting on it. This I find incredible in this state. But we'll get answers. We will get answers. And I think that Mayor Martin should consider coming forward and either saying, you know what, we're going to take the post down. It's not in the best interest of people in East Hartford for us to keep it up. Hopefully that will be the thinking. Or he'll double down. I'm expecting to double down. We'll be back. Take a minute, and we'll be right back. So stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Welcome to the new era of excellence at Amberwoods of Farmington. We're thrilled to announce that our transformative renovations are now complete, and we've truly taken it to the next level for our residents. Discover
Don't
our
worry, we
stunning
got
new
you, Zach.
spaces and indulge in 5-star amenities that redefine comfort and care. This is not the same Amberwoods you knew. Call us today at 860-387-9430 or visit amberwoodsof.com to schedule a tour and witness the remarkable changes at Amberwoods.
Cindy,
We
I'm going to
can't
remember
wait
to give you a
welcome
shout out next
UConn
break.
fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more.
1 minute.
So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision, buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home and the campaign results transmit to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back and loving every bit of it. I want to give a shout out to Cindy R. all the way out in West New York, listening on the Odyssey app. Thank you. Much appreciated that. She got the Odyssey app to work. It's like I had to learn how to use it because there's a thing that I didn't know how to use, but now I know. So now I figured it out and I've got it going. I don't know how I was getting it wrong, but again, it's always user error. I'm not technologically advanced by any stretch. Let's go back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Barbara is in Avon. How you doing, Barbara?
Hey, good, Reese. I was wondering if these people that came into our country illegally, I was told that they are issued maybe an EBT card or some kind of a card that has cash that's loaded with money. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've seen plenty of things on TikTok. In fact, there have been people who worked at grocery stores like bodegas and stuff in New York who were posting pictures of receipts of people using EBT cards, illegals using EBT. Yeah, and they were posting the receipt because apparently, and this is something I've never heard of before.
It gives you the balance on the
receipt. Yeah, unheard of on a bank card.
Right, $12,000.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And somebody saw that, and again, we're talking about somebody who's a private business owner who runs this, who looked at it and was completely flummoxed. It was like, what the heck? It's like. And again, a business owner who probably pays a crap load of taxes as a business owner in New York, seeing that kind of money being handed out to someone in that community is unheard of when they know that they see the working poor every day coming to their store.
Well, here's my question. In Connecticut, who reloads those cards? The people, the welfare people in Connecticut, or the federal government? How do they get reloaded? Is it all reloaded from a computer in?
I'm assuming that because it's the Department of Agriculture, that's who food stamps are under. Like all of that money is under. I believe it's just the Department of Agriculture. I think it's federal. It's got to be.
Well, do they have a record of what name goes with what card?
That's a great question.
I mean, my question is, why can't we just shut the cards off?
Well, talk about calamity. Yeah, you're right. What I would do is I would look at every one of the cards that were issued at a particular time based upon like if they were a part of a particular program, because there has to be some record keeping of those people. And yeah, it would just shut those down and like end the funding of that immediately. Now, that's automatically going to get pushed back. You know, it's going to say, look, oh no, they can't feed their families. I'm like,
yeah, but it's time to go home. Party's over, time to go home.
I agree. Hey, I don't know if you heard this news. I don't know if you heard this news, Barbara, but before we go, there is a report that I think it was this afternoon from ABC News that said that there were long lines at the Mexican border, but this year it's into Mexico.
Getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should make Haiti great again, make Venezuela great again, make Colombia great again. Put those hats, get the red hats with the white letters, and issue them to every person we're deporting.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more, Barbara. Let's get our first second of traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91's a little slow at 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Westbound 84, that's just a little slow as you move into the area of 48 to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound, a little tight 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Looks good 291, 384 east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Westbound 84 Waterbury is slowing from 26 at Cheshire up to exit 23 in Waterbury. And if you're heading toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, okay. South 95 a little slow, 44 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and chilly, the high 39. Some clouds tonight, windy, not as cold as it's been in recent nights, the low down to 29. A snow shower early Tuesday, otherwise lots of clouds, windy. Any heavier snow shower could quickly make some roads slick and reduce visibility, the high 33. Some snow and flurries at times Tuesday night, little or no accumulation. Wednesday, those snow and flurries continue with a coating to an inch, the high 42. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have sunny skies and a temperature of 39 degrees in Hartford. Detectives in the capital city investigating the second homicide of 2025 just before 11 Sunday night. They say 20-year-old Johnny Rodriguez was gunned down in the 1090 block of Broad Street. Investigation continued about a half mile away, says Police Lieutenant Aaron Boisford.
Dispatch was alerted that a victim was dropped off near the intersection of Essex Street at Retreat Avenue. That victim was transported to Hartford Hospital. Unfortunately pronounced deceased. Very active investigation.
Police not saying as yet whether they have any known suspects at this time. Meantime, over in New Britain, one person is dead in a double shooting in that city. Police called to an apparent domestic disturbance on Prospect Street around 3 this morning. One female pronounced dead on scene. A second now in an area hospital in critical condition. A bill proposed by State Controller Sean Scanlon would protect workers on state-funded projects from wage theft. That's when state contractors are caught withholding money from paychecks. Joe Toner is with the State Building Trades Council.
We had a mechanical contractor that ran a Ponzi scheme on his workers' health and pension benefits to a tune of millions of dollars. And they kept bidding these jobs low and beating good, responsible contractors, knowing that he was clawing back wages and benefits of his employees.
Under the bill, the Department of Labor would notify the controller when a state contractor is suspected of wage violations. The controller would then freeze state payments to the project. State lawmakers poised to once again revisit a proposal that failed last session. On today, the legislature's Planning and Development Committee opted to once again look at phasing out the motor vehicle property tax. Under the proposal, cities and towns would be able to phase out the car tax over a 5-year period while increasing the assessment on real property in order to make up the difference. But committee member and East Haven Republican State Representative Joe Zullo says he's not sure that's such a good idea.
If you just reallocate those taxes to real property, well, what are you going to see? You're going to see rents going up. And if we're trying to keep rents from going up, then this would seem counterintuitive to that goal.
Advocates for getting rid of the car tax have argued that disparities impact lower-income communities. Been a day on the move as people return to northern Gaza to see what's left of their homes and neighborhoods. Ceasefire, though, tenuous as it is, continues to hold.
Tens of thousands of Palestinians massed near the checkpoint waiting to go back to their homes in northern Gaza. Israel says it will not allow members of Hamas to return, but Israeli analysts say most are not being checked, and it is likely there are members of Hamas in the crowd.
That's reporter Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem. Connecticut's jobless rates held at a 23-year low in December to 3%. Numbers released today from the Labor Department indicate Connecticut employers added 5,100 jobs in December, and the numbers from the month prior were revised from 300 to 1,800. While most areas saw gains, DOL Director of Research Patrick Flaherty says one sector was down in 2024, and it was manufacturing,
which was flat in December and down by 100 jobs from 1 year ago. While this is still very good performance compared to the large manufacturing declines of past decades, the pace of manufacturing hiring led many to believe there would be top-line job growth in 2024.
Benchmark report for the final figures from 2024 will be released in March. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. The NASDAQ slid over 3% today, finishing 612 points down. The Dow was up 289 points. And the S&P was down 88 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, it's the new year.
Woman.
For us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5950. NortheastMen'sHealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
For the stupidest thing that I've read today, this pertains to the NFL, NFC, and the AFC playoffs that happened this weekend. On Sunday, I tried to watch the Washington-Philadelphia game. I was bored once the score was, 33-15, 33-14? Was that what it was, Roland, at some point, like in the third quarter? Like once it reached that level, I was like, all right, I'm out of here. There's no reason to watch it. I watched the last part of the Bills Kansas City game. It was okay. It was an all right game. There were some moments I can say as a football fan where I was kind of like on the edge of my seat. Ooh, what's going to happen? But we all know what happened, and we all know where we are. But the
homeboy.
Yeah. But the stupidest thing that I read today was again, I cannot believe it, again, New York City has found a way to inject itself into the NFC Championship game and to show that they actually have no respect for themselves, no self-respect to speak of. The Empire State Building was colored green yesterday in solidarity with the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't have to do anything. This is the second time since at least I've been here, WTIC, that New York has done this. If you're not in the game, stay out of it. The Giants and the Jets are both trash, straight garbaggio, as we say in Italy. So there's no reason for, what are you getting involved? Does anybody remember this? There was a time when Mayor Giuliani, Rudolph Giuliani, was, it had to be right after the 2004 season. Right after it had to have been. Maybe it was before then. But the Red Sox were in the championship game. And Rudy Giuliani came out and supported the Red Sox. And the whole country went nuts. And he said, it's because they're in the American League East. It's because they're in the same division as the Yankees. And everybody said, I don't care if they're in the American League East. You stay out of it. If it ain't the Yankees, don't even speak on it. How dare a New York mayor support the reviled Boston Red Sox? And again, as a Red Sox fan, they have a point. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center, followed by Mr. Catarina, Mr. Jason Catarina.
Mr. Mr. Dabalina. Yeah.
In the BPS Traffic Center. Can you believe that they would put the Philadelphia colors on the Empire State Building, which is only being described as the staple of New York?
Really? I mean, I totally agree with you on that. What's that all about?
Exactly. Stay out of it. Your teams are garbage. Stay out of it.
Exactly. And Philadelphia and New York are fierce rivals. Why
Exactly.
would you do that?
Incredible. I'm like, here you are. You're supporting a team where their fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus, and a fan ate horse poop after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're going to have to grease up the light poles in Philadelphia in 2 weeks because if the Philadelphia Eagles win, you know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So they grease up the light poles, and that's how bad it is there.
Exactly. And keep the horses away.
Yeah, to keep the fans from jumping on the poles and pulling them down. And
yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the worst.
The city of brotherly love doesn't exactly fit that city. I don't know. It doesn't exactly fit. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 IMB. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 a little slow. Bulkley Bridge up to 47. Sigourney 84 eastbound losing some speed. 48 Capitol Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 384 OK. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're westbound 84, delays at Cheshire 26, up to exit 22 in Waterbury. Northbound 91 looks like an accident up by exit 8 in New Haven. Looks like it's all right shoulder, but you've got delays back to exit 6 behind that. South 95 New Haven slowing from 46 down to exit 43 in New Haven on the southbound side of 95. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Do you need me to call them, by the way, or
windy
do you
with
have
No.
Okay.
Tonight, the low down to 29. The southwest winds kicking up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. A snow shower Tuesday morning. Any heavier snow shower could make some of the roads slick and reduce visibility as it remains windy and colder with a thick cloud cover for us on our Tuesday. The high 37, but temps will be falling into the middle 20s throughout the day with a strong west-northwest wind to make it feel even colder. Increasing clouds, snow, and flurries at times late on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a coating to an inch. Wednesday morning's commute may be a little slick as snow and flurries continue at times with another coating to an inch. So watch for slick spots. The high 42, though. Sunny, windy, and colder Thursday with a high of 27. Currently, it is 37 in Danbury, also in Bridgeport, 39 in New Haven. It's 37 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We promise fast, friendly, reliable service. Visit
I
us
thought he
at
was going to do it.
calljoetheplumber.com.
I thought he was going to
It's
say,
Alice Shattuck, and Awaken 180
I'm
Weight
Jason
Loss
Caterina,
is making
Mr. J.
America healthy
Caterina.
again, the right way. No big pharma injections necessary. The coaches customize the program to your individual needs and help you every step of the way. Make 2025 your year. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Does your child need a dentist? Make their first impression a great one at Columbia Dental. In our Manchester and Rocky Hill offices, we specialize in pediatric dentistry, creating a positive and stress-free experience for your little one. Visit columbiadental.com today.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. When I think of February, I think of Valentine's Day and the feeling of love. It brings a smile to my face, as your bathroom always should. I want everyone to love their bathrooms, so it's time to fall in love again. Let Modern Plumbing Supply show you how. Visit our showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. Now is the perfect time to update with the newest styles and trends, and you'll truly love your bathroom again. Modern Plumbing Supply on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Arnold D'Angelo, known to
1 minute.
listeners as
Thanks,
Arnold
up.
Dean, was born in Wethersfield, and after attending Syracuse University, he worked in New York before returning home in 1965 to work at WTIC as a staff announcer. In the 60s and the 70s, he hosted several popular music shows, including The Plaza Show and The Dean's List, where he played big band music. Arnold's Sunday Showcase highlighted music from Broadway and Hollywood, but most remember Arnold Dean as the Dean of Sports. He was an absolute pioneer in sports broadcasting. In 1976, Arnold began hosting WTIC's Sports Talk, the first call-in sports talk show. We could never name all the accolades he earned in the sports world, but he was honored multiple times by both the Connecticut Association of
Thanks,
Sports Broadcasters and was inducted into the Connecticut Sports Hall of Fame in 1997. Fun fact, Arnold was also on the Ranger Andy Show, a children's show on WTIC TV3.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. If you're on the phone, stay on the phones. But you know, if you're just joining us, we planned on having a guest today at this point of the show. And I am incredibly excited to have this gentleman on the air with me. You may hear him regularly on Brian and Company. It is none other than senior editor of the CT Insider or Connecticut Insider, Mr. Dan Haar is with us, and he wrote an article called "The 5 Guidelines for Living Through Trump Chaos for the Next 4 Years." How you doing, Dan? Let me pick up the phone. That would work. How we doing, Dan?
Good. Great to be here. You got the phone?
I've got you. I'm on the phone, buddy. I got you. We're ready to go.
Excellent.
All right. So
these are not so much guidelines as in instructions to follow, but 5 things that if you know and understand, you will be better off.
Okay. And I'm assuming you are writing to a partisan public in this article I found in the Stanford Advocate, but I'm sure it's published elsewhere. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, we own many newspapers in Connecticut.
Right.
Stanford being one, Connecticut Post is another.
Right.
Greenwich Times, Danbury News Times. The list goes on.
Yeah.
The New Haven Register, and it's growing too. It'll grow more in the next few days.
Right. And I want to applaud you, by the way. I heard something interesting that a lot of my listeners may enjoy. As of January 24th, you are now a registered Republican. Did I hear that correctly?
Well, I believe that was January 24th of last year.
Oh, it was last year. Okay. Are you still a registered Republican?
I am. I registered in the Republican Party in order to vote to sort of help the party along and help it find its way. And because I liked one of the candidates who was running against Donald Trump.
Right. That's exactly right. Exactly.
I would say that I am an avowed opponent of Donald Trump, but I would also say that this advice that I'm giving could actually be used by Trump supporters. Essentially is ways to sort through the chaos so that you don't become overwhelmed.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a little bit of the chaos that you talk about in your article. Now, I'm of a different ilk. You know that I'm a different stripe. I'm a conservative. I've just recently considered myself a MAGA person. And it took me a long time. I wasn't a MAGA person when everybody started using the term. I thought it was too cliche. But I kind of think of myself as a MAGA person now. I have no shame in that. But there's a lot of stuff that you say in your article about the chaos. Now, I'm of the belief that chaos isn't caused by a person. Chaos is a response. And what I mean by that is, and of course, I want to hear your retort to this. I look at it like Godzilla. I don't think that Godzilla creates chaos. I believe that it's the Japanese people who are running and trampling all over one another with no coherent thought, just running to get away and trampling over anyone because they're just, scared. I believe that indeed is the chaos. So I'm amused at the use of the word chaos and saying that Donald Trump is responsible for other people's response.
Godzilla is a lizard who lacks agency and intent.
Right.
Godzilla is just being a lizard in Tokyo.
Right.
And people are running around, and to your point correctly, the people running around are causing chaos.
Correct.
Donald Trump is not a lizard. Opponents of his may call him a lizard, but he's actually not a reptile. He's Homo sapien. And so he has both agency and intent.
Dan Hart, we don't need to be literal here. You know what I was doing. Come on.
No, I'm saying what I'm agreeing with you that Godzilla doesn't cause chaos, but that a human in the position of the president who is what he's doing is he's foisting on the world and the public such a high volume of such controversial stuff that one can only conclude he's doing it not only to achieve the ends of each individual order and action, but also to create chaos, confusion, and despair.
Is this, if I may ask, Dan Hart, is this something that you know personally in your relationship with Donald Trump? Or are you speculating here?
I don't have a relationship. I've never met the man. I've met, I've met three presidents. Shaking their hands.
Sure.
I've never met one, but I've never been in personal contact with Donald Trump.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that he is attempting to cause chaos.
In your opinion. Okay, fair enough. Let me take a part of your article that I took some issue with, and I really want you to explain so I don't have to take issue with it. And maybe you'll clear it up for me so that I understand. Here's a portion of it. You say, Trump is trying to return the nation to a time where supposedly life was simpler or better. The pattern remains the same, hearkening back to predominantly Christian, straight, white, male-dominated, consumption-based culture. It's done by keeping poor, dark-skinned immigrants out, denying transgender reality, clinging to U.S. hegemony, which I thought was a very clever use of the word, with steep tariffs on imports, wreaking distrust of medical science, denying climate change by exiting global treaties, and halting progress towards electric vehicles, renaming geographic features to match the Anglo-Saxon worldview. Now, in that, all of it, because there's a lot in that in and of itself, let me just take one piece out of this, and then we'll go over the rest, because this is the problem that I have with this particular. You use the phrase transgender reality, denying transgender reality. Okay?
No, I chose that phrase carefully.
No, actually, I don't think so. I think you were reckless.
No, you may disagree with it.
No. Let me explain. Dan, let me explain why I know that was reckless in what you wrote. Because I would ask you the same as a progressive, as somebody who's fighting against Trump. You say transgender reality. You're not transgender, sir, are you?
I am not.
Okay, wait. In order for something to be reality, it cannot be challenged as not being reality, right? It has to be based in science and in fact. If there is a such thing as transgender reality, You can make the argument that there is life at conception reality because a large swath of people believe something, right? Do you believe in life at conception reality? I mean, can we call it reality because someone believes that transgenderism is real?
I'm not sure the question.
No, I'm saying to you, transgender reality, there is no transgender. What is transgender reality? Are you suggesting that is it an alternate universe?
No, I'd be happy to explain.
Please.
Let me just first say, for the listeners who are confused, the core of my advice is don't get overwhelmed. Keep what he's doing in distinct boxes and only act on those that you really care about.
Okay.
Don't try to react to every single thing.
Oh, no,
Just so that
we
the
were going to get to that,
understand.
but no, I appreciate you making that clear.
But that's right.
So
right.
explain to
And
me
so
what
part of-
transgender reality is.
Transgender reality is the reality that some people are born with a gender that they do not feel, and that is not in what they determine to be their true gender, and they act on that determination by changing their gender. That's transgender reality.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that they are the gender that they think they are or feel like they are.
That's a metaphysical question that I can't answer.
Okay, fair enough. No problem.
That's a semantic and metaphysical question.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that the reality that I'm referring to is the reality that some people do not feel that they are, or in fact are not, the reality of the gender they were born with, and so they therefore take these steps to change it. And one thing that mystifies me is why anybody cares.
No,
Like, why
you
is
seem
this
to
a big
care,
deal?
Dan Hart. You seem to care, but the only thing is that the only caring that's allowed is in the affirmative, not in the opposition. So you say you don't understand why anybody cares, but you care about the reality of transgenderism, but nobody should care if they're opposed to it. But that's another. Let's go aside from that. You use this term all the way, predominantly Christian, straight, white, male-dominated, consumption-based culture. That's said in the pejorative. Are you anti-white?
I am white.
No, are you anti-white, sir? Remember, Trump is trying to return the nation to a time, and you quote, predominantly Christian, straight, white, male-dominated, consumption-based culture. These are negatives, sir. Are these negative?
Well, what's negative is his attempt to bring us back.
Oh, no,
to
I'm
an
not talking
era
about Donald Trump, sir. I can't talk to Donald Trump. I don't know what his thinking is. I'm talking to you. You wrote the article. Do you believe that these things are pejoratives? Christian, straight, white, male, dominated, consumption-based culture. These things are negative.
Definitely not.
Definitely
not.
You don't think that they're negative?
Definitely not negative. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm not understanding. Okay,
I'm
how
saying
about
that
this one?
He's trying to bring us back. I'm saying that it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that an era that he's trying to bring us back to never really existed.
And this is based in what facts, Dan Har?
My knowledge of history, and I'm also
knowledge of history or knowledge of Donald Trump?
Remember it.
Knowledge of history or knowledge of Donald Trump? We're talking about a man. You're describing a man, not a time. You're describing a man's intent. And you said you never met him, so I'm trying to understand. Sir, you're writing an article. I get that you're a skilled journalist. I am not. So I'm asking you, based upon what I'm reading here, is that you are talking about the intent of an individual, and I'm asking you, where do you come to these conclusions? You seem to be talking about history, but not the man.
Oh, good question. That's based on the plethora of his actions.
Okay, and what is the action that says he wants the country to be predominantly Christian, straight, white male that you say is not a pejorative?
Well, for one thing, I can say that he said 3 times, and he doubled down on the statement when asked if he did in fact say it, that immigrants from Asia, Africa, and Latin America are poisoning the blood of our country.
Okay.
What might that mean other than that the
Talking
blood
about
of our
criminal,
country should
talking
be
about
white?
criminal aliens and people who are poisoning the blood of America by hurting people and harming those communities that they come into by wreaking havoc on them. Now, again, it's okay. Listen, the point is that, remember, the communities that they're affecting are actually black and brown communities. I mean, vis-a-vis Chicago. But that's okay. I want to move on from that because, again, this is where it gets really, really deep. And this is my favorite part. As a black man who's supposed to be viewing everything from the lens of color, you say this. It's done by keeping poor dark-skinned immigrants out. But wait a minute. The people that he's trying to keep out are criminal aliens. Are they all
Incorrect.
good? Wait.
You are
No, let me
incorrect,
finish.
sir.
Let me finish. First of all, if you entered the country illegally, okay? All right? Just by entering, the illegal act has already been done. So if you came into the country without legality, you are illegal. You've broken the law. There's no, I stole a stick of gum. This means I'm not a thief because it's just a thick stick of gum. They broke into the country illegally, so therefore they're criminal aliens. That's it, bottom line. But again, this thing about the brown skin thing, this is the dark skin immigrants. You're assuming that because, or based on their color, that this means that they can do no wrong, that there is no criminality, that your skin color absolves you of any right to suggest that maybe something you've done is criminal?
I wouldn't say that at all, no.
Okay, I am concerned about that. I get this impression that a lot of liberals think that the thing that protects people the most is the hue in their skin color. That if you so much as call somebody a criminal and they have to be a certain color, then you immediately have to stop, check yourself, your privilege, and not say that about someone who's doing a crime because lest you be considered racist or bigoted, which again is exactly what that paragraph is suggesting. Or am I wrong?
Well, you're wrong. I mean, surely you're not suggesting that Donald Trump only wants to keep out criminals of color.
Yes.
Donald Trump wants to keep out all people who come from these three continents.
Really? That's funny. In a country that takes in a million.
There can be no question about it.
Dan, in a country that takes in 1 million legal immigrants a year, seriously, from all walks of life, especially that from India, brown skinned immigrants who come in from India.
What did I say? Poor. What did I say? Poor.
Wait a minute. So what?
Poor immigrants.
Okay, because they're poor. Wait. Okay, hold on. I want to address that part.
Middle class.
Stand by for me, Dan. Stand by for me, Dan. Okay, I'm glad that you said poor because now we got into the thick of it. Stick around. I'm going to ask you a question about that poor immigrant in a moment. But stick around, folks. We got Dan Haar. He is the senior editor at the Connecticut Insider. We're talking to him about his article on Donald Trump. For now, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center. We're Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading toward Hartford right now, some delays. Southbound 91, 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, good ride. Cromwell through Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slows. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound. Got some tight traffic now. Approaching 46 down into the tunnel. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Middletown's okay. 9 in the Aragodi Bridge. 84 westbound. Waterbury a little slow. 22 to the Mixmaster. Heading toward New Haven. Northbound 91, we have an accident. It is up on the right shoulder at exit 8. Looks like delays are all the way back to I-95. Behind that, southbound 95 New Haven slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny to partly cloudy for the rest of our Monday afternoon. Breezy, chilly, the high 39. Windy and cold tonight with some clouds, the low 29. A snow shower early Tuesday, otherwise lots of clouds, a windy day, and any heavier snow shower could quickly make some of the roads slick and reduce visibility. The high 33. Snow and flurries at times Tuesday night, little or no accumulation, but Wednesday, a coating to an inch possible, the high of 42. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. 38 degrees under, the sun is beginning to set, but we still have clear skies out there. Earthquake centered off the coast of Maine, felt in Connecticut today. That quake this morning measured 3.8. There were no reports of any damage or injuries. Hartford police continue to investigate a fatal shooting from Sunday night. They say 20-year-old Johnny Rodriguez was found shot as the city's second homicide of the year. Double shooting in New Britain leaves one person dead and one with serious injuries. This was reported early this morning. Came in as a domestic dispute, they say, or domestic incident, they say, on Prospect Street. Suspect remains at large. Fatal crash early this morning on 84. A New York man was killed. State police say Tamik Skinner died when his BMW was rear-ended by a tractor-trailer eastbound on 84 near exit 44. Driver of the rig was not hurt. Visa appointments to the U.S. Embassy in Colombia have been canceled following a dispute over deportation flights that nearly turned into a costly trade war between the two countries. Dow finished up 289 points on Wall Street today. NASDAQ, though, lost over 3%, 612 points, and the S&P was down 88. Men's college basketball, no action tonight, but the UConn men slid to number 25 in the latest AP poll after their loss over the weekend. NBA tonight, the Celtics host Houston. The Knicks at the Garden take on the Grizzlies, and the Nets are home to Sacramento. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive.
1 minute.
Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We have the pleasure of having Dan Haar, who is the senior editor of the Connecticut Insider, or CT Insider, with us back on the show. And Dan, thank you again for hanging out and calling on the show. I know this is it's a different show, so I appreciate you being here, sort of like not, kind of sight unseen, kind of our blind date, if you will, for the both of us.
There you go. I'm just excited that the UConn men hung in there at number 25 after some people thought they'd be out.
I know that people said they wouldn't rank. People said this year, people calling on this show said they weren't going to rank this year. So, yeah, congratulations to them. So we were talking about poor immigrants during the last break. I want to play this clip for you because I seem to be very miffed about the way in which progressives or people on the left, or even Democrats for that matter, talk about illegals in this country or people coming in over the southern border. And it always baffles me when they say this. Hear me out. Here's Kelly Osbourne a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe 2016, in an exchange with Rosie Perez on The View.
The immigration problem is a problem, and it does need to be addressed, and it does need to be fixed. Interesting. But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying that...
I'm sorry. That clip always makes me laugh because people think that they're helping when they say ridiculous things like that. Because there are members of Congress who are on television, C-SPAN and the like, talking about these people clean our toilets. These people pick our crops. These people clean our hotel rooms. And I'm like, yeah, for slave wages. This is not this is not a flex by any stretch, Dan Har. If we were talking about Donald Trump is keeping IT workers or engineers from coming in from the southern border, you and I could have a different conversation. But you guys are promoting the advancement of more and more slave labor. These folks cannot get a Social Security card. The jobs that they take are below the minimum wage, and nobody's checking up on whether or not they get paid. And if not half of their salary goes back to their country of origin. So what exactly are we promoting here?
Well, it's a transactional relationship. Certainly they benefit from being here, and we need them here. I don't think there's any imbalance. We need many, many, many millions more immigrants than are coming in. The birth rate of the United States is dropping to a level that's not sustainable for economic growth.
Gee, I wonder why that's happening.
Listen, we're established people, you and I. We don't need economic growth. It's overrated. But if the nation wants to grow economically, we need to bring in millions more immigrants.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait. That doesn't make sense to me, Dan. That doesn't make sense to me. You guys say that the population is growing, the birth rate in the country is growing, yet the party promotes overpopulation to a hilt. Like you guys keep talking about how overpopulation is killing the environment, right? So because in essence, all of this is the biggest problem we have. We actually have families who are not having children because they don't want to affect climate change. And you're telling me that the reason why we need illegals is to combat the thing that you guys are actually working on, and that's keeping people from having more children to overpopulate the country? It doesn't seem to make sense. You're creating the problem. Like, if you guys really want to change the trajectory, how about encouraging Americans to have children? But no, you can't, because again, it would go against the idea of climate change, which, by the way, is in the same paragraph, right? Hold on for me 1 second. I'll give you an opportunity to answer. I keep forgetting that this break's coming up. We got to get to Mark Christopher to BPS Traffic Center. And I want to give him a chance to respond. We'll be back with him in a minute. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading into the Hartford area right now and you're coming down southbound 91, a little tight 33 down to 32 A&B, northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell through Hartford up into Windsor, westbound 84 slowing east Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound is sluggish, 46 into the tunnel, 291 through 84 looking good, 2 eastbounds in great shape, Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you are heading in toward the Middletown area right now, no problems there. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge moving well. 84 westbound, Waterbury a little slow, 22 up to 18 in Waterbury. Heading down in toward New Haven. Northbound 91 looks like that accident up by exit 8 from the right shoulder has been cleared, although we still have slow traffic from I-95 up to exit 7 in New Haven. 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, tonight, some clouds, windy and cold. The low down to 29. The southwest winds kicking up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. A snow shower Tuesday morning may lead to some quick, slick conditions and some reduction in visibility for that morning commute. So use caution. Otherwise, windy and colder. On early high of 37, then temps will be falling into the middle 20s during the day with a strong west-northwest wind behind the front. Tuesday night, increasing clouds, snow and flurries at times, a coating to an inch. The low down to 18. Wednesday morning's commute might be slick with, again, more snow and flurries with another coating to an inch. The high of 42, though. Later on Wednesday night, a low down to 16. Thursday, sunny, windy, and colder. The high only 27. Currently, it's 36 in New London, also in Mansfield, 37 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
It's no secret, the world is more expensive. But at Mitchell Auto Group, they have a solution, Mitchell Select. Hand-picked selection of affordable, high-quality pre-owned vehicles. Each one goes through a 150-point inspection, comes with a 12-month warranty. What does that do? It ensures reliability and peace of mind. Affordable, dependable, Mitchell Select has what you need. All you have to do is go to mitchellautogroup.com to explore the select inventory. Mitchell Auto Group, where value meets quality. And remember, folks, always drive safely.
Love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, that was incredibly unfair of me. I'm throwing all this stuff at Dan Haar, who's the senior editor of the Connecticut Insider, also a writer at the Stanford Advocate. I'm saying all that stuff to him, forgetting that I have to go to a break, so I'm leaving him hanging. I apologize about that, Dan. That's my fault. I know the clock. I shouldn't have done that to you. Forgive me, man. The question was, the question was, you know, again, we do have a declining birth rate in the United States. But on top of that, we have an agenda that says that climate change is man-made and we need to, again, reduce our population. In fact, 60 Minutes, just like last year, did this whole story about a guy who wrote this failed book in the 70s. I forget his name. But anyway, climate change is real. Don't deny that science. So people have decided they're not going to have babies because they don't want to overpopulate. And of course, we've got abortion on demand. I mean, you can demand an abortion faster than you can get a Mayweather fight. And at the same time, we're talking about declining birth rates. How can both? Like, we're actually shooting ourselves in the foot, right? Shouldn't we be encouraging birth rate in the country instead of importing it?
Well, you've named all these preferences, all these normative ways things should be. I'm just talking about reality. The reality is that the United States birth rate is negative right now, right? We're at 1.6, 1.7 children per woman of lifetime birthing age, right?
Right, birth age, right.
And to sustain the population, especially since we're at a relatively old stage of our population, you need more birth rate. All I'm saying, I'm not making there should be more people, there should be less people, there should be brown people. Right. I'm not making that. All I'm saying is that the reality is that in order to sustain the economy that many people want to have in the United States, we need to bring in or let in many more people.
But we're bringing in more people. Agree. But wait a minute, okay, well, you're absolutely right that we need to bring in more people. Angela Merkel in Germany did the same thing, and of course that turned into a nightmare. But my point about that is, again, you're talking, remember what your original statement is in this paragraph, and that is keeping poor, dark-skinned people, immigrants out. And you put an emphasis, as I asked you, on poor, dark-skinned people. But hear me out. If these are poor people, to my earlier point, poor people coming into the country, working menial jobs, getting paid less than minimum wage, having more babies, which only ensures their poverty. This doesn't cause their economy to, or at least for them, their personal economies to rise. They're having more kids to have to feed. So we're not helping them by allowing them to come into the country and work menial jobs without a Social Security. Now, I know you're going to say pathway to citizenship, okay? But that doesn't make sense either, because the pathway for citizenship should not be skipping the line. And if I may, I'd like to play this clip for you. And this clip is from none other than our good friend. You might know her. She is the former First Lady. She may sound familiar to you. I think her name is Hillary Clinton. Are you familiar with her?
I've heard the name, yes.
Yeah, yes. I thought that she sounded familiar. Where is her quote? She has this quote that I thought was perfect about this when it came to illegals in the country. Here it is. Let me see if I can play it.
They've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, We should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Why can't we have that? That's not what people are proposing today. That was Hillary in 2006.
Well, when you say why can't we have that, I don't think we're up to the point where we've had a discussion about the pathway to citizenship. I remind you that our own Senator Chris Murphy was the Democratic designee to negotiate an immigration reform bill, which he did successfully do with Senator Langford of Oklahoma and Senator Sinema of Arizona. And a pathway to citizenship was not included in that. And yet the Democratic caucuses in the Senate and the House were willing to vote for it. So it's not a litmus test issue. Listen, everybody here on that I talk to about this just wants some common sense immigration reform.
Yeah,
which
I think
we desperately need and haven't had.
I would say a common sense law, and I would like this. In fact, I would say, I'll put it to this way. If you want the 14 million people that Biden allowed in, or if there's 22 or 30 million, whatever the number is, I say let's.
Biden didn't allow in any 14 million people. That's not a thing. That's not the right
Yeah. Listen, if you think I'm going to sit up here and quibble with you about that, you're out of your mind. We know he let in millions of people, and we're not even talking about the known gotaways. Nobody knows who came into the country because nobody kept a record. And these people are just running around willy-nilly. They're all over the place. The only ones we've been able to account for are the people they've allowed us to account for. The known gotaways and the porous border has been immense over the last 4 years. That is not an argument that anybody wants to have.
And they commit, and those known gotaways, never heard that word, commit crime at significantly lower than the crime rate of native-born Americans.
Yeah, and this means what? That we should still import them and criminals into the country because they commit fewer crimes?
No one's importing any criminals.
No. You said that those people. No, wait a minute. You can't say one thing and then backtrack. You said they commit fewer crimes than anyone else. I didn't know that the level of crimes that you create or commit was the litmus test on why we should let them in. So you're telling me that I should let them live next door to me, as Chris Murphy famously said, because my neighbor's got a better chance of hurting me in a criminal way than an illegal, then I should just forego my neighbors and make sure that illegal. I'm better off having them into the country. Is that your argument?
Well, the crime rate among immigrants, whether documented or not, is significantly lower than the crime rate.
That is bull, and you know it.
You're never going to be right. So why don't we why don't we do this? Why don't we ban all restaurants? Because at home, I know I can prevent all airborne food poisoning, and in restaurants, I can't.
That's a nonsense comparison.
There are cases in restaurants where, because of the number of the activity that's happening in there and the cleanliness and so forth, there are cases in restaurants where people get food poisoning.
Dan,
why don't we ban all restaurants and say no one can go to a restaurant?
Dan, let me explain to you.
Because there are individual cases.
Let me tell you how that works. The market works by not going to that restaurant. You're not giving people the choice when it comes to illegals. Now, no, you're not. You're not giving us the choice when it comes to illegals. You're telling them that they're going to live in our communities because you welcome them. You haven't asked us. You're doing it against our will. Right? You just assume that we're going to take them because, we're a kind and gentler people, and we just allow people in. But I'm going to get back to your point about illegals. You said that they commit fewer crimes than naturalized citizens. Let me explain to you how that's a farce. And
no, not the natural born.
Okay, natural born citizen. Well, I'll tell you why it's nonsense. 100% of illegals are criminals because they came here illegally. That's a crime, therefore criminal. So 100% of them are criminals. You don't think that entering the country illegally is a crime, so you can make that ridiculous claim that after the illegal act of coming into the country, they don't do any further crimes, immediately absolves them of any criminality. I say that's nonsense. It's like changing the word illegal to migrant so that you feel better about yourself. They are illegal in the country, therefore criminal from the start, at day one, when they come over that border. Illegal. So 100% of them are criminals, whether you like it or not. They may not be the type of criminals that you think that we should pull our hair out about, but they're still criminals.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me just say that I prefer to live in the world of reality. And in the world of reality, the border is not...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
in the world of reality, the southern border that the current occupant of the White House is so frothed up about is not actually all that important. Most people that are here without documentation came here on travel visas and overstayed the visas. The number of people pouring over the line in on the Mexican border is not that many millions of people.
Okay,
Most people
even
are
if
here,
that's
they
the
came from
case, even if that's the
China
case,
or Ukraine or God knows where, and they overstayed their visas. They came through airports.
Dan, you're
And I
making an
also would add
argument.
that
You're making
current
an argument
occupant
for
of the White
people
House
with.
is also a felon.
Hold on. You're making an argument. We'll get to the felon part. Thank you for bringing that up. You're bringing up the fact that there are people who overstay their visa versus the people who are here illegally. Here's my point to you. If you want the people who overstayed their visa to be deported from the country, I'm with you. My question is to you is why can't we see that when they come illegally through the country and see them as the same types of people who break the law? They break the laws. Let's just say across the board that coming over the border illegally or staying past your visa is also illegal and a violation of our immigration laws, and everybody should go. Why can't we do that? Because I'm not parsing it. I'm not saying, oh, well, somebody who overstayed their visa may have forgotten to go back and... No, I'm not suggesting that. You break the law of immigration in this country, you all go. There's no, dicing of the immigration stay, if you will. I agree with you.
Do you want an answer to the question? Or
Please.
do you want to,
Of
you want
course.
to be upset about it?
I'm not upset.
Okay, I'll give you an answer.
Yes.
There are several reasons. One of the reasons is that it is not a realistic goal to round up 15 million people. They don't wear funny hats. They live in the community with you and me.
Come on,
they
dude.
You can't just round them up. That's number
Dan,
one. Number two.
wait. You can't go down, but I want to address that. Don't come at me with they don't wear funny hats and there's no way to identify them. You guys do this every day in your article. You do these blanket descriptions of individuals, white Anglo-Saxon, black Hispanics, this nonsense about we can't identify them. Sure we can, because you people know who they are. You actually have advocacy groups in every one of these cities who know who these people are, who are doing everything. Look at East Hartford today, aiding and abetting those people staying here. Don't tell me we don't know where they are. They all know where they are. And it would be nonsense to suggest that Justin Elliker doesn't know who they are, but he damn sure knows how to protect them. He knows who they are, and everybody knows where they are.
You know, it took Hitler 6 years to round up the Jews, and we lived in the same neighborhood.
Stop it, Dan. Dan, come on, you're better than that. Round up the Jews.
I'm not comparing Hitler. I'm just saying, if your task is to round up millions of people, that's not a particularly easy task. But there are other reasons. There are other reasons why it's not a practical reality. More important reasons.
Yes, Dan.
The main one is you can deny this if you want, but the reality is that the United States, in order to function the way we function, we need these people here.
Okay.
They
Legally.
process our food.
Legally.
The economy doesn't care whether you have a piece of paper.
I do.
The economy is the economy. You're welcome.
What are you talking about? We just had an election on this. And regardless of what you guys or anyone else has been able to say about it, and again, that's the other part that I don't seem to understand. You guys don't, I get it. And I really do understand this. You guys have been on a win trajectory for a long time, liberals, from Barack Obama to whatever legislation you guys have been able to get and get corporate business to totally agree with your point of view. I get it. But now all of a sudden, all of that stuff is being completely kicked in the rear, and everybody is like apoplectic about the fact that they lost. It was like, wait a minute, we're losing ground on this? You are losing ground because none of it makes sense. What you guys are asking for falls flat on its face. It's a circular firing squad of liberalism.
Who's asking for?
Pardon? Everything that you guys are asking for flies in the face of the things that you want. Everything, like I said, immigration, you want to increase the birth rate, but you tell people that they get an abortion anytime they want to, and they should do it for climate change. It's like, you guys don't make any sense. So the people who should be left with filling our coffers with people should be left to the Mexicans, as well as cleaning our laundry and cleaning our hotel rooms. You guys don't even seem to understand it. Everything you guys have ever stood against makes you sound more and more, dare I say the word, totalitarian fascist than ever. You look at these people as nothing more than your cleaners. You see them as nothing more than people that do your bidding.
Yeah, okay, wait. All right. Now you've had a lot. You've had a lot to say. You've said a lot of things. The first thing that I would say is the world is not a black and white place. All I've said is that the United States economy does not, cannot, and would not function without the 12 or 15 million people that are here without documentation. If they were to all, if you were to snap your fingers and just poof, they're gone, right? A sort of a bloodless exile of all people that don't have documentation, you would be ignoring a number of realities. The first reality, as I said, is that you physically can't do that. The second reality is the economy needs those people here for better or worse. You make a great point about people being exploited workers, and I couldn't agree more, but that's a different issue. The third reality is that these people choose to be here. You can't say, why am I allowed to say that their lives are miserable and they should want to be here? They choose to be here, mostly because they know that their children will succeed. And the studies all show that the children of immigrants succeed more than the children of native-born Americans.
Yeah, so we should ignore the native-born Americans. We should ignore the native-born Americans and make sure that we let the illegal immigrants and their children succeed, especially by getting, diplomas at UConn and Connecticut State University that are pretty much worthless because they don't even have legal documentation to be here. So that fraud, I won't even get into that. That's kind of despicable of the institutions in the state as well and across the country. But Dan, I'll let you get the last word before we go to a break. Will you please come back on? I really, really love this spirited exchange. Would you please?
Yeah, I'd love to keep talking to you. I appreciate you having me on. And I just want to point out that all of the Hearst, Connecticut papers, CP Insider, I work for all of them. It's Stamford, It's Danbury, it's Norwalk, it's Greenwich, it's Bridgeport, the Connecticut Post, New Haven, Meriden, the Manchester Journal Enquirer, all of them.
Well, that's the reason why I want to have these exchanges with the journalists in the state, so I can talk to them about what they're writing. I want them to be able to defend their positions, because I think that this audience doesn't get a chance to hear from you guys on the air. So I'd love to have you back.
All right, good. We'll be in touch. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sir. All right. There he was, Dan Haar, Connecticut Insider and everywhere else. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, overall, a pretty good ride out here. Southbound 91, you're going to see the delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, moving well. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Boakey Bridge to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound is tied up approaching 46 into the tunnel. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound, no problems, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Heading into Middletown, 9 southbound, a little slow at the Aragoni. 99 northbound is a little tight between 30 and 31 as you move into Berlin. Waterbury, 84 westbound, slightly slow by 17. If you're heading into New Haven, 91 northbound, you're jammed up now from I-95 up to exit 8 in New Haven. The exit 8 off-ramp shut down because of an accident there, and that's what's causing the delay. 95 southbound, you've got slow traffic 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and chilly, the high 39. Some clouds tonight, windy, not as cold as it's been in recent nights, the low down to 29. A snow shower early Tuesday, otherwise lots of clouds, windy. Any heavier snow shower could quickly make some roads slick and reduce visibility, the high 33. Some snow and flurries at times Tuesday night, little or no accumulation. Wednesday, those snow and flurries continue with a coating to an inch, the high 42. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC at 1080 News. Investigation is continuing in New Britain this afternoon following an early morning shooting in that city. Left one person dead and another injured. Call came in around 3 on a domestic disturbance reported on Prospect Street. A female was pronounced dead at the scene. A second is in an area hospital in critical condition. Police there still on the lookout for the suspect or suspects in that incident. Meantime, police in Hartford are investigating the city's second homicide of 2025. It was last night that Lieutenant Aaron Boisford says the incident went down.
Police responded to the area of 1091 Broad Street and a shots fired notification. They did locate some evidence of gunfire on scene.
Police say 20-year-old Johnny Rodriguez had been dropped off about a half-mile away at the intersection of Essex Street and Retreat Avenue. That's near Hartford Hospital, where he was taken and pronounced dead. Not clear what led up to that shooting yet, and Hartford police have not indicated whether they have any suspects in mind. Following last year's failure, lawmakers at the state capitol appear once again ready to make an attempt to phase out the motor vehicle property tax after it died in committee last year. Planning and Development Committee discussed the measure today at its meeting. The bill calls for a 5-year phase-out of the car tax, that revenue to be made up with an increase in real property taxes. But committee member Republican State Senator Jeff Gordon says taxpayers aren't really getting a break.
But for those who own property, especially houses, for example, where there's already a housing affordability issue, completely separate somewhat from affordable housing. But the bigger picture, that becomes more of an issue for them, especially if we want to keep people in their homes as they age, keep them in their communities.
Planning Committee co-chair, State Senator M.D. Rahman, says doing away with the car tax would lead to greater fairness across the board, with the tax burden reduced on owners. In Hartford, there is a movement to allow the state to stop paying contractors who don't pay their workers in full. WTIC's Dave Mager explains.
State Comptroller Sean Scanlon says the Department of Labor is working a backload of wage theft cases.
It's wrong for people to pad their pockets at the expense of the men and women that work for them.
Some state contractors are accused of shortchanging workers' paychecks. Scanlon's bill would allow him to freeze state payments to contractors when wage theft is reported. Kim Glassman of the Foundation for Fair Contracting says this tactic should work.
Once the money stops, all of a sudden these workers are going to be paid correctly. You're going to see the restitution be paid, I would imagine, within 24 to 48 hours.
The State Building Trades Council says one contractor was caught running a Ponzi scheme with workers' benefits. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
President Trump expected to sign several military-related executive orders today.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth arrived at the Pentagon Monday for his first full day on the job. Hegseth previewed some of the military-related executive orders President Trump is expected to sign. They include policies for transgender service members, a ban on several diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and reinstating service members discharged for refusing to get the COVID vaccine.
CBS's Erica Brown. Tech stocks took it on the chin on Wall Street today. Business reporter Jason Brooks with the details.
NVIDIA led the tech rout after DeepSeek's AI model outperformed rival AI models from OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. It did so while being trained for less than $6 million, according to the 2-year-old Chinese startup, unlike the hundreds of millions spent training rival U.S. AI models. Despite the massive tech sell-off, the Dow Industrials overcame that with a consumer staples-led rally. The Nasdaq plummeted 612 points to 19,341, S&P down 89 points to 6012, while the Dow gained 289 points to 44,713. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
And for these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, the new year is here. And if you're going to make a resolution to improve your health, but if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution, because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity. Your sleep will improve. Your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
Oh, yeah, it's the 5 o'clock focus on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I guess we can only focus on one thing, your response to my conversation with Dan Haar at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's take a quick one if we can for, let me see, I've got a minute and a half if I can. Let's take Christine in Middletown. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Hey, Reese, how goes it? Well, a caller in the 3 o'clock hour asked how much money we spent on illegal aliens in Connecticut. And
Yes.
I have the 2023 figures. That was in Connecticut, $1.28 billion, $2.16 billion for Massachusetts, and $9.95 billion for New York 2 years ago. We don't have the figures from last year yet. But it's a safe guess, Reese, that those numbers have not gone down.
Yeah, I can imagine. Again, I think that I played some audio last week. I apologize. Last week of Mayor Eric Adams talking to Tucker Carlson, where he said that he was receiving some 8,000 asylum seekers, as he called them, every 2 weeks. And every week. I apologize. Every 2 weeks, he was getting 16,000 people coming into the city. And it became unsustainable. I think it was less than 6 months. He was at 150,000. So, and it was billions of dollars that was going to those efforts. So I know that they don't care about that. They keep saying that, in order to help our economy. I don't know how that works, Christine, because it's costing taxpayers more money than we're getting. Where's the money? Where's the ROI?
There is none. It's all money out of our pocket and it's stolen from us.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. But thank you for those numbers, because somebody sent me another link. I think Lori sent me a number that said, according to the last numbers, it's 113,000 in the state of Connecticut, which makes your number even more astronomical. For 113,000 in the state of Connecticut, and the number you gave was 1 point what?
28 billion.
Well, in Connecticut?
Yes, in 2023.
What? I thought it was less than that. That's incredible. Yeah, so it isn't. Again, where's that money? I don't see us getting any residuals from that. That's ridiculous.
All claiming to have a housing shortage when Connecticut lost population the last few years, too.
Yeah, wow. That's a good point. Wow, thank you, Christine. I appreciate you holding on. Let's get another check of the traffic. And, of course, then our weather with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Doing pretty good in Hartford. If you're traveling westbound 84, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Southbound 91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, no problems. Cromwell through Hartford up into Windsor. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 West Merge, quiet Middletown. If you're heading toward Waterbury, look out for an accident at 84 westbound between exit 18 and 17. Northbound 91 is jammed up from I-95 up to exit 8 in New Haven. We have an accident on the exit 8 off-ramp. So that's what's slowing you down there, and that off-ramp is shut down right now. If you are traveling 95 southbound New Haven, slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Some clouds tonight, windy and cold otherwise. The low down to 29. Southwest winds kicking up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. Watch for a snow shower Tuesday morning. Any heavier snow shower could quickly make some of the roads slick and reduce visibility. Otherwise, a windy and colder day with lots of clouds. The high 37 early, then falling into the middle 20s with a strong west-northwest wind. It's going to feel like it's down in the teens. Tuesday night, increasing clouds, snow and flurries at times late with a quick coating to an inch. That could lead to some slick travel in Wednesday morning's commute. The low down to 18 Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, some more snow and flurries, another coating to an inch possible. Breezy, otherwise the high of 42. Then sunny, windy, and colder Thursday. The high 27. It's going to feel like the teens at best with a strong west-northwest wind throughout the day. Currently, it's 35 in New London. It's 37 in New Haven. Also in Bridgeport, it's 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower. But at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Sur le point.
Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Paid for by government. Now,
1 minute.
With Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of
you,
America's
sir.
silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1 ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free. Call 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your
Here we go.
bars for only $39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
Oh, 5 o'clock focus in effect at News Talk 1080 WTIC. For those of you who are checking out the show, Reese on the Radio, at ReeseOnTheRadio.com, look at that fine, beautiful portrait of our First Lady, Melania Trump. You can check it out there. If you haven't seen it today, you can go back and check out Reese on the Radio at Facebook or, Rumble, all those places. You can see the picture there of Melania Trump. They just, I'm sorry, Michelle does not look that stunning. I'm sorry to say that. Anyway, it's not my fault. I have nothing to do with it. To the phones we go. Let's go to Kim in Cromwell. We're going to try to do a 2-minute drill. We'll get everybody in and out in 2 minutes because the phones have been ringing off the hook. So I want everybody to be able to get in. So if you're calling, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842 for 5 o'clock focus. Kim's in Cromwell. How are we doing, Kim?
All right, let me go over some facts. Okay. Illegals are not entitled to food stamps.
Indeed.
Okay, you have to be a citizen. But if they have a kid here, they can get food stamps for that kid because that kid is a citizen. And essentially what they do is they're the supervisor of the kid. So they essentially walk off with the money anyhow.
Right.
Okay. All welfare programs have means testing. Okay. Most of these they would not qualify for unless the Biden administration put through some kind of special legislation that goes as other assistance, which would be administered by Department of Social Services.
Now, would that be state run or is that federal run? Or does the money come federally?
No, we run it. There are state and federal programs.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay. The whole thing, again, with the Democratic Party is to usher in a subservient class of people.
Agreed.
So that they can boss them around. That's why they don't want educated people. And it just subsidizes illegitimacy in all sense of the word, and it makes them feel very benevolent. In other words, they're having a guilty conscience because of the Civil War era.
But
That's
isn't it
really at the heart of the matter?
Kim, let me ask you this before you go, and you can answer yes or no, or you can go a little in depth. But don't you believe that, in my view, many of the people who are coming in from these countries, many of these third world countries, are already familiar with a totalitarian, socialist, if not communist way of life. So if indeed they supplant these people or put these people in these communities, they're easier to rule because it's kind of what they're used to, right?
Well, yeah, they're used to, with a few added benefits in that you can siphon from many different nonprofits and whatever and build up some benefits more so than under strict communism, where you may get your loaf of bread, but it would be very rationed. And then Har speaks of we need more people. Of course, they're aborting all these people.
Right.
Is we don't make anything anymore. And
Good point.
frankly, when he speaks of, we need people to pick our crops, as I said last week, agriculture today is mostly mechanized.
That's right.
Okay? So if one needs somebody to tie their shoes and serve their coffee, they're looking to be the overseer of somebody who's willing to be a compliant
Exactly.
serf.
A
And I
new
just
slave
find
labor.
that very unethical.
Yeah, it's a new slave labor. Even Dan Har agreed with me on that front. That yes, there are people who are clearly taking advantage of this class of people by not giving them at least even the minimum wage. Why? Because you don't have to document it. They're not documented in any way.
Exactly. And if employers, all of them, want
Exactly.
everything on the cheap, which again is very immoral. And for those that are not paying taxes, the Social Security Fund needs some money.
Yeah.
Workman's Comp needs some money.
Yeah.
If they're not paying it and sending it back home, it's doing us lots of harm in the long run because we can't sustain this.
Thank you, Kim. I totally get that. And again, my point that I was trying to make to Dan. Thank you. Thomas in Thomaston, how we doing?
Oh boy, where do I start with Dan? he opened up giving like 6 or 7 adjectives of Trump, and
Right.
they were all negative.
Mm-hmm.
I could have given the same 6 or 7 adjectives. They'd be all different, but they would be in praise of Trump.
Right.
Over 75 million people voted for Trump. So he said, I cracked up when he says the information he's giving can be used by
Yes,
Republicans and
conservatives
MAGA
as
people.
well. Right. I thought that was funny too.
Give me a break.
That was kind of
And
funny.
I will tell you, 30 years ago, I could get most of my employees, I'm in the janitorial service.
Right.
So I can't pay a lot for the regular cleaning, the carpet cleaning, the extra stuff I can. So people that work for me usually had a full-time job and they just wanted to make a little extra.
Sure.
That's long and gone. I can't get people, no one wants to work.
Right.
I get calls, hey, what do you pay? I say, I'm still on unemployment. Can you pay me under the table?
Ooh. You put yourself in peril to do that, so I understand your apprehension.
I won't do it. I say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to jail for you so you can scam the government. So it's really hard. I got one. The girl was born in the United States, so she's a citizen.
Right.
She works for me. I know her mother's not.
But you know what you could do? Here's what you could do. And I've dealt with this before. I understand that you have, you're limited on how much you can pay a person, and you're probably paying more than the minimum wage anyway, because there's no way you're going to get an employee at $7.45.
I have, just morally, I have always paid $2 over minimum wage.
That's brilliant. But you know what? Get the people. Here's what you do. I'll tell you this. You have to get what's called, and I hate to use the term desperate, but you have to get the people who are looking for those jobs. You go to places like colleges. You go to places like, where kids, in essence, are looking for extra cash. And you if you can train them in that, and where, in essence, you're not going to get a person who's a family of 4 to come and work for you for those types of wages. So you have to get the people where they are and explain that job to them and say, hey, listen, it's not that hard of a job. It's an opportunity to make money in a couple of hours. The better you do, the more money you make. But at least it's not, it's not sitting around and not making any money or doing something, untoward, if you will.
Yeah. Well, like I say, 20 years ago, I could do that easily. Now it's almost impossible. I don't know where people get their money, but nobody wants to work.
Yeah,
But
I agree. Trust me, it's hard for me to get them. It's hard for me to get them. I try.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. We've got Mike in Thomaston. Thomaston calling in thick today. How we doing, sir?
Oh, man. That guy shows the exact reason why we have so many low IQ voters in Connecticut. He is on every single paper.
He is.
How
He's
can
everywhere.
You learn something when you're in a printed echo chamber.
Well, that's the reason why I had him on. Mike, the purpose of having him on is because I understand that, I understand he's in polite company in a lot of other places, right? And people agree with him in those spaces. I believe the same thing on here. I have a lot of conservatives on here all the time. For me, I walk off the show when I talk to too many conservatives, I feel almost dirty. Like, I don't want to be in that space. I need to talk to the opposing side. So that's why I reached out to him. I was so happy when he called because I know that many people on the left are afraid to come on with conservatives. I hope I haven't deterred him from coming back because he's going to write more articles, and I think that we should have an open discussion about them.
Well, I do have a few realities for him. We wouldn't have. For one, there's two genders.
That's right.
My father was schizophrenic. No one ever told me to tell him, those voices coming from the TV are really talking to you, Dad. So for two, we wouldn't have a problem with the birth rate if we didn't have the cartel shipping all their criminals and all their fentanyl over here killing 100,000 plus people a year for the past decade.
Indeed. Yeah,
So
we've become a culture of death. We've become a culture of death by telling people, one, not to have kids, to abort their babies on demand. And you're right. And the drug and the drug apparatus, we not just even talk about fentanyl, we talk about all types of opioids for that matter. We become a drug and medicated culture.
Yeah, and it's just not only that, he's saying that they're not messing up the economy. Has he tried getting an apartment in Connecticut?
No, and he made that clear, though. He said that these people, as you referred to them, they don't affect him or I. So again, I always favor that people that they report these stories from a perch. They look down on the rest of the plebes and they just go, this isn't a big deal to you while not living in it, right? They can suggest what's best for you in your society, but they are hands off on actually having to live the thing that they're promoting.
Yeah, I cannot wrap my head around the moronic views of some people.
Hey,
this guy is like living in a fantasy land in Thailand or something.
Listen, I hope that he is
taking. We have to live in their reality.
I know, and I'm hoping he's listening to you because that's the important part. I want him to. It's not just about hearing the opposition. I just want him to hear how you guys responded to his claims and the conversation in general.
Well, he needs to hear this. Start reporting on stuff that actually is affecting us, and you will start making money.
Well, yeah, you're right. It is a dying medium. I will admit that.
Yeah, if we're not reading it because we have the politicians pushing it on us.
Yeah,
we have the TV pushing it on us. We don't need the papers pushing it on us.
Yeah, they're the ones that are supposed to keep all of this nonsense in check, instead of sounding like the ruling class. You're 100% right about that.
They sound a lot like Dixiecrats. That's what they sound like.
That's what I heard. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Craig is in the car, and a guy who's working on the ground is in the trucking business. Listen, I know that something about that conversation tripped you off because you're calling early in the 5 o'clock focus. What do you got?
Well, because my response to this clown is the same as my response Friday was going to be to Tim.
Right.
Because they made the same nonsensical BS arguments. Just one was a little bit more articulate than the other. I'm sorry, I'm getting over the flu, so I don't have quite the energy of your previous callers. But I'm going to give you a personal anecdote, and I'm going to give these clowns some actual facts.
Okay.
I used to summer in a resort town, a beach resort town, my whole life. In the 80s, all the hotel and restaurant workers were college kids from the U.S. and Canada. That lasted for about a decade. After that, it was Europeans. After that, it was Jamaicans. Now it's all Central and South America.
Wow.
And there's no variation. It's 100%. Each decade it changes.
Right.
Right. So right now, everybody that works at those hotels up there is from Guatemala.
Wow.
100%. And I've gotten to know them, and they're all here on work visas.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the employers that sponsor them, you know how he hires those people?
Please.
He flies to Guatemala and does interviews.
Really?
That's how
Okay.
yes. And he does it every year because those visas need to be renewed. So there's been a huge shift in the workforce in certain industries.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get to the actual visa implications. Do you know how many different types of visas are available in the U.S.?
I can't think. Forget about it. I wouldn't even know that.
There's over 180 different classifications of visas.
And they're not all work related, of course.
No, I mean, there's diplomatic, there's athletes, there's every kind of category you can think of. So
right.
the two that we're talking about are H-2A and H-2B.
Mm-hmm.
H-2A is for seasonal agricultural workers. H-2B is for temporary seasonal workers that are non-agricultural.
Right.
Okay, those are the two we're talking about. There's no stats for 24, but in 2023, the U.S. issued over 450 H-2A and H-2B visas. Okay, so these people come to the country legally, and let me tell you what they do. Mm-hmm. They have to be provided housing by their sponsoring employer.
Okay.
They don't have cars. They don't drive.
Right. No need for a driver's license.
Nope. Their only expenses are health care if they need it, and feeding themselves and clothing themselves. And I'll tell you what happens to all the money that they earn while they're here. It all gets sent back to the country they came from.
Always.
And they will tell you that. We send everything back. And what was interesting is in 2023, 90% of the visas that were granted to temporary seasonal workers, whether it was agriculture or not, 90% were from Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
Wow. I got to let you go, but you make a good point, because what did you call that? What is it called? H2? HB2?
H2A is agricultural, H2B is non-agricultural.
So if we have this, why don't we just do that? Why don't we just make sure that these people can come in on work visas, if indeed they're the ones picking all the crops, if they are indeed the ones who are cleaning all of our toilets, in our hotel rooms? Why not just follow that process instead of just, because again, we have the means to do so. Why don't we just use what's already there? I got to take a break, but no, actually, hold on, Craig. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. I'll let you finish up your point. Okay? But we got to, of course, the hard break. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How are you doing, Mark?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon. Southbound 91 delays 33 to 32. Northbound 91, that's an easy ride. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 just losing a little speed, 48 into the tunnel. 291, 384 looking good. No problems. 2 eastbound into Glastonbury. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury, we have an accident on the left shoulder between exit 18 and 17. Rubbernecking delays on both sides of 84 there. If you're heading down into New Haven, northbound 91, the exit 8 off-ramp is shut down because of an accident. That's causing delays back to the I-95 interchange. 95 South itself is slowing from 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, some clouds, so it'll be windy and cold, the low down to 29. We'll get a snow shower Tuesday morning, otherwise windy and colder with lots of clouds, the high 37, but temps will be falling into the middle 20s in the wake of a cold front. Then for tomorrow night, increasing clouds, snow and flurries at times late, a coating to an inch, the low down to 18. Snow and flurries at times Wednesday with another coating to an inch, the high of 42. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30, Hartford temperature 37 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. In Hartford, the investigation is continuing into a fatal shooting from Sunday night. They say Johnny Rodriguez was shot and later taken to Hartford Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Found shot at the area of Essex Street and Retreat Avenue. No word on any suspects. Meantime, one person is dead and another is in the hospital with serious injuries following a shooting in New Britain. Police were called to an apparent domestic disturbance. Prospect Street around 3 this morning. They found one female dead at the scene, second again at an area hospital in critical condition. Visa appointments to the U.S. Embassy in Colombia have been canceled following a dispute between President Trump and his Colombian counterpart, Gustavo Petro, over deportation flights that nearly turned into a costly trade war between both countries. Some shaking felt in parts of Connecticut today. They say a 3.8 magnitude earthquake centered off the coast of Maine was felt in areas in Greater Hartford. No damage reports and no injuries reported as well. State police investigating after they say a man was killed Monday this morning in a crash on Interstate 84 in West Hartford. Troopers say around 1:30, BMW driven by Temex Skinner of New York was hit from behind by a tractor trailer. He died at Hartford Hospital. The rig driver was not injured. Hundreds of Palestinians, thousands of Palestinians streamed into Gaza's most heavily destroyed area after Israel lifted its closure of the north for the first time since the early weeks of the war with Hamas. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 289 points. NASDAQ lost a lot, 612, and the S&P was down 88 points. NBA tonight, it's the Celtics hosting Houston, the Knicks home to Memphis, and the Nets host Sacramento. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply by February 12th and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on success. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Okay, it's what had happened was brought to you by the Odyssey app. We talked to Dan Harr of the CT Insider, and he talked about immigration, and we're still on the subject. That's what had happened was download the Odyssey app. I want to get back to Craig in the car, who was talking about. I want him to wrap up. How you doing, Craig? Thank you for holding on. Okay, so what was the last thing that you were saying before we went to break?
Okay, thanks for holding me. So all of this conversation about what to do with immigration is all predicated upon step one, which is you have to secure the border.
Indeed.
That box is being checked right now. So now we can start having conversations about how to fix the other problems.
Right.
I researched what it costs to get a visa, a seasonal visa, whether it's agricultural or not, to come to the United States. It costs the employer approximately $800.
Okay.
It costs the worker less than $200.
But
Why
now
are we importing?
if it's wait,
why
hold
are
on
we
before you go any further. Wait. $800 for the employer. Can he have that subsidized in any way? I'm sure he can write it off, right?
Oh, I'm sure you can write it off. It's $800. I mean,
Right.
that's nothing. And that's kind of my point is why are we letting foreign workers into the country with American corporate sponsors for less than $1,000? We could be charging $10,000 for that, right?
Lord knows the
And if we
coyotes
allow
are.
Exactly. If we allow 440,000, that's $4.4 billion the federal government would take in that we could put towards border enforcement.
Yeah, it's a good point.
We're basically just letting people come in here and win. And this is why I think this is part of the reason why you can't find American workers that want to do these jobs because they're too underpaying.
Yes.
So if the employer's got to take on an extra 10 grand per employee, plus the cost of housing, plus the cost of all this extra stuff. Well, why don't I just increase my hourly wage by another $5 an hour and hire somebody from East Hartford or South Windsor?
Indeed. That's the part. Again, I feel like this past administration was aiding and abetting businesses, whether they're, farms or whatever the case may be. They're aiding and abetting these guys from spending the least amount of money on these wages. Again, it is nothing more than aiding and abetting enslaved labor. I don't get it. And how people can talk about how, businesses and corporations are taking advantage of the poor people, which is exactly what letting these illegals into the country are doing. And again, enhancing that practice with those businesses.
I can tell you, it got so bad during COVID because visas weren't being issued because of the pandemic. The restaurant and hotel industry, some of it on the East Coast, it's very seasonal, right? It's going to shut down October 30th, November 1st. These people had nowhere to go to work, so the hotels were working out arrangements with hotels in Colorado because their ski industry was starting. And these business owners got together and were shipping employees back and forth, and they were co-sponsoring the employees.
Wow. And it's insane.
There's ways to do things, but like I said at the beginning of this segment, it's all predicated upon securing the border.
Yeah,
If you
indeed.
don't secure the border, it doesn't make any difference.
Thank you, Craig. I appreciate you holding on. We're going to get the rest of your phone calls when we return, so stick around. 860-522-WTIC. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, looking a little slow by 32 A and B. Northbound 91 is okay. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. Westbound 84 is tight, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84, just a minor slowdown by 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro, quiet Middletown. 84 westbound in Waterbury, a little slow traffic as you move up between exit 18 and 17 from an earlier accident on the left shoulder that's now gone. We have a new accident that's popped up now, New Haven, North Haven line, 91 northbound between exit 8 and 9. 2 vehicles, right lane block delays are back to I-95. Behind that, 95 South New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy and cold with some clouds tonight. The low down to 29. The southwest winds kicking up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. Watch for a snow shower on our Tuesday morning. May impact the morning commute with some slick spots and some reduced visibility out there. So use caution. Otherwise, it's going to be windy and cold with the high of 37 early, but then temps falling into the middle 20s during the day. Cloudy, snow and flurries late on Tuesday night, a coating to an inch possible, leading into Wednesday morning's commute, the low down to 18. Wednesday, again, snow and flurries at times with a coating to an inch, the high of 42 on Wednesday. Then Thursday, sunny, windy, and colder, the high 27. It'll feel like the teens at best with the strong winds throughout the day. So very, very cold as we make our way toward the end of the week. Currently, it is 35 in New London, 36 in Mansfield, also 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
When you've got plumbing problems, you want to get them taken care of ASAP. We get it. We're Joe the Plumber, and we promise fast, friendly, reliable service. So when your sink or toilet or pipes act up, get the plumbers who get it. Find out more at calljoetheplumber.com.
It's Alice Shattuck, and Awaken 180 Weight Loss is making America healthy again. The right way. No big pharma injections necessary. The coaches customize the program to your individual needs and help you every step of the way. Make 2025 your year. Awaken180weightloss.com.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
In the dynamic chromatic ad buying,
Thank you, sir.
Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision, buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty for your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio. And don't forget, our last but not least caller today receives 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagels Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon, a $90 value. That is 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months, brought to you by Between Rounds. So I hope that you all get to be an opportunity today and on coming days to get the prize of 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months. All right, we'll get to that shortly. But before we do and get to the phones, don't forget, folks, we have to do this. And it's not because I don't like you. It's because I really, really like the way that people respond to it. And that is the bagel joke of the day. Bagel joke of the day is, why was everyone afraid of the everything bagel? Why was everyone afraid of the everything bagel? Because it looked seedy. That's why. It looked seedy. Your bagel joke of the day, brought to you by Reese on the radio. Now, back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Rob is in Meriden. How you doing, Rob?
Yes, hello. I appreciate you picking up the call. I have a joke for you about the bagels, if you don't mind.
Real quick.
What did the police officer say to the bagel?
What?
Spread them.
All right, we'll give you a small smattering of applause.
Yeah, boom, boom. Boom, boom.
What do you got, Rob?
But the guy was talking about, the Connecticut Mirror. I think they find out some good stuff, investigative work. And the other person was talking about who had just the last caller, how they faded away from college kids to this, to that.
Yeah.
But here's an honest question to you, if you would answer it honestly. You have, say, two condominiums, or not condos, say hotels.
Sure.
You have the same amount of, you have 20 hotels over there in the same building. You have 20 over there. You get college kids, and you pay them the same money as you pay, say, the other guy said immigrants from Nicaragua, Honduras.
Right.
Who do you think would do a better job?
I
Would
don't
be more
know.
dependable.
I don't know. I really hold on, relax. I get the impression that you're making here is saying that because of the value of the dollar in certain regions, that it's quite possible and it's fair to even argue that someone from Guatemala or from Honduras has a
Even cut it in
pension.
half.
Right, exactly.
Even cut it in half.
You're more. Listen to me. I'm not going to even debate with you about
Who's
that.
hungrier?
However,
Who's hungrier?
I don't think that that's an argument for shirking the law. Is my point, Rob? It's like we don't say we get a better work ethic out of breaking the law. What we need to do is have a comparable wage for those so we Americans can do the job.
College kids, we get
Rob,
college kids. And,
but the bottom line is
Rob,
the bottom line is
my
that
kids went to college, so
let me finish.
I'm not talking for them.
Every job has to be attractive to the employee. That's how that works. And if it's by wages or by benefits or by other things,
you just said
no, I agree with you. You and I aren't disagreeing here. I think we have to make it, but we can't just take the illegals because they'll accept anything because all they want to do is get out of their country. We're lowering the bar.
Can I say, I appreciate the time. Can I say one more thing?
Real
about
quick.
Vetting? You got someone who was here 8 years old. He came with his parents, and he had a job. He has pay stubs, or he or she. They had pay stubs for, say, 25 years. Never been in trouble. You know what? Did they break the law? They were 8 years old. Their parents took them across. The boy or girl should have said, "Mom, stop. I'm 8 years old. Don't do this." But they worked. They got. Now they're, say, 60 years old, whatever age. Now,
did their parents do anything to become citizens? Because again, this goes back to the point that I was saying. Let me answer you because I got to get another call.
I'm talking about
Rob, I'm going to give you an answer, and again, because I understand this situation. I have
bring somebody new in.
Okay, I can't if you're not going to listen. I'll just say it so you can hear me, and I have to cut you off. My sister-in-law Helen, my little brother Briggs' wife, came into this country in the trunk of a car from Mexico. She's from the Guadalajara region of Mexico. He goes there every other year. They bring their daughter. She came into this country illegally. Okay? In fact, my brother didn't want to introduce me to her because she came into the country illegally because he thought I would report her. But I got to know her, and she is now a citizen. Why? Because she didn't come here and just stay. She became a citizen, and now she works in the medical field. Now, did she get here illegally? But yeah, she did what she had to do in order to get here, and yes, she paid a fine. So she did it legally after she got here legally. She got here when she was 16. She's now in her 40s, but she's got no immigration problem. She flies back and forth to Mexico all the time. So please don't tell me it can't be done. That's nonsense. Mike is in Plainville. How you doing, Mike?
Tell you what, Dan Haar.
Yes, Dan Haar.
So far in, Rotor Dan Haar from the Hartford Courant. He's so far in, even Roto-Rooter can't get him out.
He's ideal. Listen, he makes it, I give it to Dan because every article he writes, he makes it clear he is on the left and he is there in opposition to Republicans.
Yeah, he does make his points clear. He does. He's not vague. He's got his ideas. And someone that doesn't have any ideas or doesn't do much, I've been reading about this Covanta crisis in Bristol, the energy plant. It's been humming for 8-9 years since I've worked where I work.
Yeah.
At night, you can hear it. It's a rumble. It gets stronger, and then it slows down, then it goes away, then it picks up. And there's an article in the Hartford Courant. Henry Martin, he's our state rep, supposedly, is going to send a letter to look into the situation. How long has he been in office? How long has he been in that position?
I'm going to send a letter.
4 years? He sent a letter.
I love these.
Sent a letter. What do these people do? Would you do anything besides walk out to the paper box every day?
I think that wait, Mike. I think the funny part about it is that he said he wrote a letter. I'll put any amount of money on it. He wrote nothing. He had to have a secretary do this. I don't think he wrote a letter. I think he signed the bottom of it.
Quick comment about the game yesterday.
Yes.
The NFL has a new sacred cow. It's Patrick Mahomes. those roughing the passer calls were bogus. You know it, and I know it.
Even if that's the truth, Mike, I'm going to say this about the game, okay? Buffalo didn't have to make it a clincher. They didn't have to make it a nail biter. They didn't execute. And even if the odds are stacked against them, you can't fumble the ball. You can't, there was a lot of.
They didn't play well.
Exactly. There were a lot of unforced errors.
True, but I mean,
That's okay. Mike, anyway. Let me get some other people in here. Mark is in West Hartford. How you doing, Mark? What's going on? Mark was chatting. He's texting me in the background about the Dan Hart conversation. Go ahead, sir.
Here's what you did, Reese. You just didn't put a spotlight on a lefty woke journalist. What you highlighted and spotlighted was what we always hear about, the partnership with Connecticut Dems.
Yes.
Did you even hear him try to manufacture numbers like Chris Murphy?
Oh, yeah.
Saying that illegals, like, where does he get the stats from? They're undocumented. They use aliases. We don't even know their birth. They don't come across the border with their files. They don't have to supply Social Security numbers like we do every time we turn around and do whatever. And not only that, in Connecticut, just a couple years ago, they dismissed 76% of criminal cases.
Yeah.
How many of those were undocumented or illegal immigrants? I mean, so he showed us how he was trying to cook the books.
Yes.
Just like a Democrat. So there's the partnership.
But Mark, did you hear the response to? First, he said that natural-born citizens commit more crimes than the illegals. And when I pushed back on saying that crossing the line,
where did that come from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I responded to him by saying crossing is illegal, it's not like I'm not a thief because the only thing I stole was gum. I'm a thief. And he was trying to parse the fact that they're not criminals, even though they did something illegal. Once I brought that up, there was no response to that because he knows that's true.
Please remember this one, Reese, because this one it really gets my butt out. I am sick and tired of hearing, who's picking our fruits and vegetables. I know for a fact, I've been in contracting 45 years. When you go by roofing crews, I'm going to guess 80% of every roofing crew in Connecticut, when you see those 5 to 10 guys up on the roof, a majority of them are illegals. And they're willing, so these liberal rich people who want a deal on their roof, they could care less that these people are up there without benefits.
Exactly.
You have the privy to ask for insurance. You can make sure like everybody's got workers' comp. Do you think a guy like Dan Harr is going to ask and see if everybody up on his roof has workers' comp?
Exactly.
And if they're covered? We are taking advantage of them. They're no longer just picking vegetables. They're putting themselves in harm's way.
Exactly.
For the sake of somebody saving $1, and nobody brings that up. All we care is about is fruits and vegetables. And let me leave you with this. Whenever I hear like, oh, they're doing the jobs Americans don't want to do, right? Well, who wants to be a plumber? You're dealing with pee and poop all day long. No, you know why? Because it's a solid job. They're getting paid for what type of work they're doing. So I always like when people go like, oh, they're doing the job. No, there's plenty of jobs Americans are doing that are unpleasant.
Yes.
They're not being taken advantage of.
That's all, exactly. And I don't think a lot of people know that, what was it, Mike Rowe? When Mike Rowe used to do the thing, Dirty Jobs, the thing that I recognized in that show, just as a person who's kind of done everything, I've cleaned streets, I've done all types of employment when I was a kid. But I looked at those jobs, and the first thing I said watching Mike Rowe's show, Dirty Jobs, was, I didn't even know that was a job, right? And so that was the whole purpose of that show. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
I want to leave time for somebody else to talk, but I'm going to announce an exclusive that you don't even know about, that you're going to have. Nobody like Dan Harr. He's the guy that ignored me for years, along with every other woke liberal journalist. You know what you're going to have? You know what exclusive you're going to have?
What do you got?
The mother of the child that was tickled at Solomon Schechter in West Hartford is going to come on and do an interview with you.
Okay.
All right. You and I are going to talk off the air.
All right, you got it.
Nope. Yep. All right.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. How are we doing, Dave?
Yeah, I'll go as quick as I can. The problem with Dan Haar is the newspapers that permit his yellow journalism opinion pieces, which are really belong on the editorial page, are heralded as front page news.
I saw that.
That is a problem. That is a problem. The Hearst publications, he's everywhere. You just can't escape it. He is not an actual journalist. He is an opinion promoter.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is he has signed up for the Republican Party, which he's mentioned in
That's
his
right.
pieces.
I brought it up.
I got to dismiss him. If his version of what's wrong with Republicans in Connecticut is there's not more voters like him that are on the Republican roll, that is not the solution, man. I want more. Well, I'll just leave it at that.
No,
And
that
the
was
story
brilliant. Brilliant way. Go out on a high. Go out on a high, Dave. That was.
I want to get this in. The story that Dan Haar is not covering is the marriage pipeline of the fraudulent immigrant marriages that Elliker and all the aldermen in New Haven are covering up. Those people are facilitating major felony, and they're just not covering it.
Indeed, they are. You want
not properly documented marriages, and they're on purpose letting it go forward.
100% right. Our last caller of the day is going to go to Jim in Berlin. Jim, you're on Reese on the radio and the recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. What do you got for me, Jim?
Thank you. I'm very happy. I just wanted to give you a shout out. You did a wonderful job in interviewing Dan Haar, and you really called them out on some of the fallacies they believed. It's unbelievable.
Thank you. I wanted him to at least address some of those, and I think he did. What I really loved, Jim, this is my favorite part of the interview, was when he points out that white Christian males are a pejorative in the piece, but then says that he doesn't find it to be a pejorative, which I'm trying to understand what's the purpose of writing it if it isn't meant to be negative. The piece is a hit piece on the integrity, if not chaos, of Donald Trump. Why enter it if it isn't a bad thing? And I don't think he had an answer for that. I think that probably because he had been called out about it. Stay on hold, Jim. Roland will get your information so that you can get a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the bakery sandwich, Bagels Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. I'll get it right soon enough. In Windsor, South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. So I'm Patrick. We love you, and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. Thank you, Dan Haar. I hope that you will come back if you're still checking out the show. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center trying to get you home. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading through Hartford right now, pretty good ride. Not seeing
all right.
That went by too damn fast.
It's a good Monday.
Yeah,
nice and fast.
It was a good Monday. That was rip-roaring. I was like, what the heck?
Well, you gave an hour to Dan. That's what made it go fast too.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
It's probably why. Yeah, it was a. Well, I'm glad that he stuck around because usually, they bail, right?
Nah, he didn't. He seemed like he was cool with everything.
Yeah, that's good. I'm hoping that he comes back though, because I thought it was a great exchange. He may not have.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I'll check you tomorrow.
For tonight, some clouds, windy and cold. The low down to 29. That southwest wind kicking.
Thank you, Thank you, Lori. Much appreciated. Thank you, Michael A. You guys, you were fantastic. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. As always, you guys keep it going, and we'll talk more about this. And Matt in Bristol, I promise tomorrow we will talk about confirmation hearings before they happen. So at least we'll get a little bit into that. Okay? So stand by. I promise we'll be talking about that tomorrow and all the other good stuff. All right? I love you guys. You're the best. I'll always appreciate you.